I'll put it in sports terms why you got fired. You were fucking with O.J. too much. That's exactly why you were fired, man.
Well, I don't know.
That's his buddy.
Yeah, it's his buddy.
Yeah. Well, that's why you got canned.
O.J.'s a good guy. I mean, he's not. Potential jurors for the O.J. Simpson case were asked to fill out a 75-page jury questionnaire this week. In the entire state of California, only one person got a perfect score. Chow Ming Wu, who after the trial plans to attend Caltech. By the way, you can now purchase a bronze statue of the Juice for only $3,395. And for an even $5,000, you can buy one that Al Cowlings has kissed the ass of. O.J. Simpson's new fitness video was released this week, and hitting the shelves next week, Simpson's newest video, Dorf on Stalking. The crowd is torn. According to retailers, the most popular Halloween mask this year is O.J. Simpson. And the most popular Halloween greeting is, "I'll kill you and that guy who's bringing over your glasses," or treat. And the Pope came out with a book this week, which contains a series of essays examining faith and morality in today's secular world and the changing role of the Catholic Church as it approaches the 21st century. The book is entitled, "God Himself Told Me That O.J. is Guilty." In other book news, Prince Charles released an autobiography in which he states that he never loved Princess Di and that his father pressured him to marry her. The book is entitled, "Of Course O.J. Did It." I mean, come on. In his book, O.J. Simpson says that he would have taken a bullet or stood in front of a train for Nicole. Man, I'm going to tell you, that is some bad luck when the one guy who would have died for you kills you. That's probably... You don't get worse luck than that. And O.J. announced this week that he's coming out with a new book called I Want to Tell You. And if it's successful, O.J. will work on yet another book entitled From Football to Prison, My 25 Years of Showering with Other Men. And finally, in honor of the 50th anniversary of their first publication, Random House will be releasing special commemorative issues of many Dr. Seuss classics. The first to hit the bookshelves will be Green Eggs and Ham and O.J. is Guilty. Judge Ito was interviewed this week by a local TV station in Los Angeles. Asked by the interviewer if it was appropriate for a supposedly impartial judge to be on TV with his case still pending, Ito said, "Maybe not, but how appropriate is it to kill your ex-wife?" It was revealed today that O.J. Simpson told police that Nicole Brown Simpson used to beat him up. He also claimed that she and Ron Goldman killed him. O.J. Simpson's lawyers have decided to skip hearings on DNA evidence and go right to trial. Asked why they did this, the lawyers replied, "We want to get O.J. acquitted as speedily as possible so he can get back to doing what he does best, killing people." Well, let's get to O.J. O.J. Simpson's lawyers say they don't want the families of Nicole Brown and Ronald Goldman in the courtroom during the trial. They're afraid the presence of the family members will just remind O.J. of how much more killing he still has to do. Well, O.J. Simpson's lawyers stopped feuding this week, finally. The Dream Team, F. Lee Bailey and Robert Shapiro, were able to put aside their differences and express their admiration for each other after O.J. threatened to cut their heads off. According to the National Transportation Safety Board, sleepy truckers are responsible for 1,000 deaths a year. In second place, O.J. Simpson at 2 deaths a year. It was revealed this week that defense lawyer Johnny Cochran once abused his first wife. In his defense, Cochran said, "Hey, at least I didn't kill her like some people I know." Tomorrow, Judge Lance Ito will take O.J. and the jury on a tour of the now famous crime scene. For the jury, it will be their first look at the actual location. Of course, for O.J., it will be just a case of been there, done that. Judge Lance Ito was happy with the jurors' field trip to the crime scene last week. It went off without a hitch, said Ito. Not one murder. O.J.'s pal Al Cowlings now has a 1-900 number. For $2.99 a minute, Cowlings will tell callers that O.J. is innocent. And for $3.99 a minute, he'll try to do it without laughing. And this week, Simpson defense lawyers questioned witnesses about a half-melted container of ice cream found at the murder site. The Simpson defense has seized upon the ice cream for 2 reasons. 1, it may help fix the time of the murders, and 2, it was the only thing in the murder scene without any of O.J.'s blood on it. To illustrate the point that their client is running out of money to defend himself, O.J. Simpson's lawyer said this week that if he had to do it over again, after killing his victims, O.J. would now rob them as well. We went... Was O.J. Simpson high on speed the night of the murders? Absolutely not, said defense attorney Johnny Cochran today. And a simple test of any of O.J.'s blood found at the crime scene will prove it. And O.J. pal Al Cowling said this week that in looking for the truth in the O.J. Simpson case, he sometimes talks to a picture of Nicole Brown Simpson, something that in the past would have gotten him killed by O.J. F. Lee Bailey said this week that if the defense only knew what Ron Goldman's last words were, they might be able to find the real killer. You know, if you ask me, Goldman's last words were probably, "Hey, you're O.J. Simpson." Oh no, O.J. has struck again. How about that? Not a good thing. And in court this week, Cato Kalin testified that O.J. Simpson did not appear angry before or after the period of his wife's murder. But Kalin admitted he could have been a touch edgy while he was actually murdering her. Might have been a... Hertz Rental Car Company announced this week that it will buy 520,000 vehicles, increasing its worldwide fleet 24%. In addition, they will try to find a new spokesman who won't kill his ex-wife. This week at the O.J. Simpson trial, the infamous bloody glove was finally introduced into evidence, and O.J. didn't help his case any by blurting out, "There it is, I've been looking all over for that thing." Testimony during the final week provided some spellbinding moments. In a brilliant move during closing arguments, Simpson attorney Johnny Cochran put on the knit cap prosecutors say O.J. wore the night he committed the murders. Although O.J. may have hurt his case when he suddenly blurted out, "Hey, easy with that. That's my lucky stabbing hat." And a new shocker in the O.J. Simpson trial. This afternoon, Judge Lance Ito dismissed yet another juror, a 45-year-old African-American male, for failing to tell the court that he had once worked for Hertz Rent-A-Car and that he had once held Nicole Brown Simpson's glasses while O.J. killed her. Dismissed Simpson juror Jeanette Harris revealed in interviews this week that the jury is torn by dissension and is already divided into 2 camps, those who think he is guilty and those who are really, really stupid. A bad week for the prosecution of the O.J. Simpson trial. Under intense cross-examination by defense lawyer Barry Scheck, LAPD crime expert Dennis Fung admitted that he may have contaminated the crime scene when he accidentally dropped a big bucket full of O.J.'s DNA. Our top story tonight, this week in the O.J. Simpson trial. After grisly photos of the murdered Nicole Brown Simpson were shown in court, O.J. turned his head away and wept. It was at that moment that he realized he would never be able to kill her again. Well, in a questionable move by the defense team this week, O.J. Simpson demonstrated how to stab two people at the same time. Remember 12 Angry Men, the classic courtroom drama? Well, the first film about the O.J. Simpson case is in the works. It's entitled 9 Angry Black People, 2 Scared Asians, and a White Guy Who Hasn't Spoken Since Rosa Lopez. Well, the trial of the century is over. Late yesterday, the fate of O.J. Simpson, the most famous murder suspect in United States history, was placed in the hands of the jurors. They must now decide whether to free him or get all their heads cut off.
Straight to the heart. I went a long time acting like I was a broken apart by you.
Thanks, I'm Norm MacDonald, and now the fake news. Well, it is finally official. Murder is legal in the state of California. Two hours after the verdict, LA police had their first solid lead in the hunt for the real killers. A new witness has come forward who saw 3 men fleeing the crime scene the night of the murders. Police have released this sketch and would like to hear from anyone who has seen these 3 individuals. On Tuesday at 1:15, the moment the Simpson verdict was delivered, Court TV scored its highest ratings ever. An hour later, the channel went out of business. Well, that covers the main developments in the O.J. Simpson case this week. And after all, other important things are going on in the world. Now more O.J. Simpson. When Simpson trial juror Gina Rodborough returned home this week, her little girls were delighted to have her back. And no wonder. She lets him get away with murder. Our top story tonight. Following his shocking acquittal 2 weeks ago, O.J. Simpson vowed never to rest until the real killers of Nicole Brown Simpson are brought to justice. And the manhunt continues. After initially vowing never to rest until his wife's killers are brought to justice, O.J. Simpson this week changed his pledge slightly. He now vows to have sex with hot-looking models. Meanwhile, this week, O.J. took girlfriend Paula Barbieri to see the erotic murder mystery Jade. Other moviegoers took the couple's presence in stride, though they did become uncomfortable when O.J. repeatedly shouted out, "You call that a stabbing? Simpson had been discussing marriage with girlfriend Paula Barbieri, but reportedly she has called the wedding off. Her fear was that if they married, she would be brutally murdered. And then someone would try to pin it on O.J. The L.A. District Attorney's Office has given Marcia Clark and Christopher Darden bonuses of over $10,000 for, quote, lengthy hard time duty, unquote, in the O.J. Simpson case. A spokesman for the DA said that the prosecutor's bonuses would have been even higher, except for the fact that they let a killer go free. According to a report out this week, O.J. Simpson is still extremely angry that Robert Shapiro began writing a book while he was defending the football legend. However, Simpson is extremely pleased that he got away with killing his wife and that waiter. A down-and-out O.J. Simpson, depressed that all of his money-making ideas have failed, has decided to go back to doing what he does best, killing people. In a surprise move, O.J. Simpson has offered to give an interview to CNN with, quote, absolutely no ground rules. But interviewers Greta Van Susteren and Roger Cossack have asked for one. Don't kill us. In sworn testimony this week, Paula Barbieri admitted that she had broken up with O.J. Simpson the very night Nicole Brown Simpson was killed. Boy, that had to be a tough day for O.J., huh? First he gets dumped by his girlfriend, then Colombian hitmen kill his wife. Man, that's... You gotta... In an effort to raise money for his enormous legal bills, O.J. Simpson this week began marketing a video which attempts to prove his innocence. Should the tape not sell, Simpson has a backup idea, his very own video of the actual murders themselves. This week on NBC's Dateline, 3 members of the Simpson jury explained their not guilty votes and argued that if Simpson had killed his wife, there should have been blood stains all over his gate, front door, and light switches. Also this week, Simpson friend Al Cowlings released his video, How to Get Blood Stains Off Gates, Front Doors, and Light Switches. In his civil court deposition this week, O.J. Simpson denied under oath that he ever punched, kicked, or slapped his ex-wife Nicole. Oh, great. As if O.J. isn't busy enough tracking down the real killers. Now he's got to track down the real wife beater, too. This guy is crazy. And in Brentwood, O.J. himself was spotted manning a lemonade stand with his daughter, Sydney. Asked by reporters why sales were so poor, O.J. replied, "Beats me," and then he went back to cutting lemons with a giant knife. A new development in the O.J. Simpson civil trial this week, according to sworn testimony, Nicole Brown Simpson had told her therapist that she was afraid of getting beaten by O.J. Simpson. Asked why he didn't report this earlier, the therapist said, "I was afraid of getting beaten by O.J. Simpson." I said getting beaten, and that may have hurt a little. According to a Senate Committee on Violence, Denise Brown has done more to bring attention to the cause of battered women than any other person. Well, almost any other person. Once again, O.J. gets the short shrift. In Los Angeles this week, Lyle and Eric Menendez were found guilty of first-degree murder. So, to review California law, it is killing your wife, legal. Killing your parents, illegal. A shocking new development in the O.J. Simpson case. Late this afternoon, a high-ranking official in the Los Angeles Police Department admitted to Geraldo Rivera that the police did conspire to frame O.J. Simpson for the murders of Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman. However, they called the conspiracy off when they got to the murder scene and found that O.J. really did do it. While in England, where he spoke at Oxford University, Simpson had defended actor Marlon Brando's criticism of Hollywood Jews. Later, from his island hideaway, Brando sent O.J. a telegram which read, "You're not helping." Arriving back in the U.S. after his week in London, O.J. Simpson was asked by a reporter why he hadn't spent Mother's Day with his children. A visibly annoyed Simpson replied, "Idiot, I didn't spend Mother's Day with my kids because I killed their mother." Well, more O.J. Simpson news. On Friday, the Juice officially endorsed Bill Clinton for president, adding, quote, "I'd like to help him any way I can." To which the president replied, "Well, there is one thing." In Los Angeles this week, the defense suffered a setback in the second O.J. trial when Simpson was ordered to turn over a secret videotape which lawyers say contains proof of his guilt. What's on the tape? The first O.J. trial. Finally this week, lawyers in the new O.J. Simpson trial actually found a prospective juror who claims to know nothing about O.J. Simpson, the murders, or the first trial, and who told the court, quote, "I don't even know when it started or ended." Unfortunately, the man had to be disqualified when it was learned that he had been a juror in the first O.J. trial. During a recent interview on 2020, longtime O.J. Simpson friend Robert Kardashian said he now believes Simpson may be guilty, though he did add that had he believed O.J. was guilty at the time, he never would have agreed to hide his bloody clothes and knife. At his civil trial in Los Angeles this week, O.J. Simpson attorneys began their case with an attack on Nicole Brown Simpson's character. Outraged Brown family lawyers responded, quote, "Nicole is a victim. No matter what she did, she certainly did not cut her own throat." To which Simpson's attorneys replied, "On the contrary, that is precisely what we intend to prove." At the Simpson civil trial this week, O.J. and Fred Goldman got into an explosive shouting match. Mr. Goldman bellowed at O.J., "Don't give me that damn look," while O.J. shouted back, "I wasn't even looking at you. You're just mad because I killed your son." Against the Jets last week, Buffalo Bills running back Thurman Thomas broke O.J. Simpson's career rushing record, and the week before, he surpassed Simpson in career touchdowns. Next up for Thomas, an attempt to kill 3 people at once. O.J. Simpson was in a different courtroom this week, attempting to regain custody of his 2 children. In order to prove to the court how much he loves his kids, O.J. pointed out, quote, "Hey, they're still alive, aren't they?" This week in Los Angeles civil court, an FBI expert testified that shoe prints left by the killer exactly matched shoes belonging to O.J. Simpson. In response, O.J. stood up and exclaimed, "Wait a minute. Wait a doggone minute. I just figured it out. The real killer is me." According to researchers in Australia, koala bears have fingerprints so close to those of human beings that they could easily be mistaken by police at the scene of a crime. It should be noted, however, that the research was funded by O.J. Simpson. So, our top story tonight comes from the O.J. Simpson civil trial, where this week it was revealed that in his first interview with police, Simpson had refused to take a lie detector test. His reason? It detects lies. This week at the O.J. Simpson civil trial, the focus shifted from the defendant to the alleged character flaws of Nicole Brown Simpson. Attorney for O.J. hammered away at her lifestyle, citing sexual promiscuity, drug use, and the fact that she married a double murderer. Meanwhile, Simpson defense attorney Robert Baker argued that a dark spot in a crime scene photo was a, quote, mystery shoe print, suggesting that there were actually 2 killers. O.J. hopes this will support his theory that he did not act alone. In dramatic testimony this week at a civil trial, O.J. Simpson said he didn't commit suicide only because, quote, my mother told me you don't go to heaven if you kill yourself. Oddly, his mother did say, quote, it's okay to kill other people. In a unanimous verdict this week, a Santa Monica jury found O.J. Simpson liable for the wrongful deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman, awarding the plaintiffs damages of $8.5 million. Reacting to the verdict, Simpson insisted that he has nowhere near that amount of money and that his only remaining asset is 30 pairs of Brune Mali shoes. The announcement of the verdict came toward the end of President Clinton's annual State of the Union address, and to many observers, completely overshadowed the event. Even the president was distracted during his speech, waiting to hear exactly how much it costs to kill your wife. Our top story tonight, this week at the civil trial of O.J. Simpson, the jury, which had earlier found him liable in the deaths of Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson, this week tacked on an additional $25 million in punitive damages. On hearing the news, Simpson declared, quote, this is far from over. Asked to clarify that statement, O.J. said, quote, I'm going to kill more people. What do you think I meant? The first place in Weekend Update's Most Romantic Valentine contest goes to David Delafera of Kearney, New Jersey. Yesterday, Mr. Delafera, who works as a fireman here in the city, climbed the ladder of a fire truck up to the third-floor office window of his girlfriend, Alexandra. There, with a dozen roses and a wedding ring, he proposed to her in front of all her co-workers. Congratulations, David. And coming in last place for the third year in a row, O.J. Simpson. At a book signing in New York this week, Fred Goldman once again offered to forget the millions owed to him by O.J. Simpson if he would simply admit to the Brentwood murders. A visibly annoyed O.J. responded, why in the world would I do that when I have no intention of paying you anyway? More bad news for O.J. This week, HarperCollins reached an agreement with the Brown family to publish his late wife's diary. Especially troublesome to Simpson is this final entry. Dear Diary, I have to run now because O.J. is here to murder me. And also the guy who returned my glasses. I think he might murder him, too. Also this week, a California newspaper revealed that O.J. Simpson was awarded custody of his children mainly because a court-ordered psychological test showed that he is a loving father. It should be noted, however, that the same test also showed that he was a loving husband. According to O.J. Simpson's niece, Terry Baker, when O.J.'s mother, Eunice Simpson, first heard about the slaying of Nicole Brown, she exclaimed, he did it. Reached for comment, O.J. said, my mom was just guessing. I hadn't even told her yet. Meanwhile, O.J. himself may have some explaining to do. For months, he has denied hiding financial assets, including valuable sports mementos, from the Brown and Goldman families. But earlier today, Simpson pal A.C. Cowlings was stopped as he tried to leave the country. In the backseat of his Bronco, police found O.J.'s Heisman Trophy, disguised with a tiny fake beard. More bad news for O.J. Simpson. This week, a Los Angeles court ordered him to turn over his Heisman Trophy to the Goldman family. In addition, the same court may order Simpson to surrender a coffee mug inscribed, World's Greatest Husband. More followed from the recent conviction of British au pair Louise Woodward on murder charges. This week, her attorney, Barry Scheck, lashed out at the legal system, saying, quote, what kind of sick society do we live in where an innocent girl is sent to prison, while a double murderer like O.J. Simpson goes free? Kind of a... In a statement with profound legal implications, the FBI announced this week that for the first time, its experts can now identify an individual with 100% accuracy through his DNA. And really, when you think about it, the timing could not have been better, said former football great O.J. Simpson. He was good on the gridiron. Oh, there's a phone call here. Here, I have a phone. Let me see now. Who would this be? Hello?
Hey, Norm, what's up? It's OJ.
OJ! Hey! Hi, OJ. Hey, what have you been up to?
I just got back from the movie.
Oh, the movie. What'd you say?
Beautiful girls.
Oh, yeah. Who's in that again?
Oh, you know, Uma Thurman, Lauren Harley, Mira Sorvino, Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell's in Beautiful Girls?
I know, Norm. I was nonplussed myself.
Anyway there, Juice. Hey, how's it going with the, the manhunt there for the killers?
Oh, Norm, don't ask.
Not good, huh?
That is an understatement. I'm no closer to finding the real killers today than I was when I started. It's like they vanished into thin air.
Oh, well, give it time there, OJ. You know, it can't be that bad.
Oh, believe me, it is that bad. Sometimes I feel like I might as well shut down the whole investigation.
Oh, come on now. Hey, did anything ever come out of that lead you picked up there about the shadowy figure leaving the crime scene?
No, you're not going to believe it. It turns out that was me.
Well, so I guess that's a dead end, huh?
Yeah.
Well, hey, how about that guy that was seen running back to your house by limo driver Alan Parks?
Well, guess what? That turns out that was me also.
Oh. Well, what are you going to do, huh?
Nothing you can do. Sometimes you just have to laugh. Anyway, Norm, while I have you here, I was going to ask you a favor.
Oh, yeah, sure, Juice. What is it?
I produced a video dealing with some of the inconsistencies in the evidence, and I've been having trouble getting the 800 number out on the airwaves.
Really? I'll put it out.
Okay, that would be great. It's 1-800-555-0165.
Oh, okay. That's 1-800-555-0165?
Right. 1-800-555-0165.
Okay, 1-800-555-0165. Okay. Hey, what's the video cost there, OJ? Was it like $100?
Oh, no, it's $29.95.
$29.95? Good Lord, that's nothing.
Yeah, well...
You're practically giving it away.
We're trying to price it so that the average person can afford to buy it.
Well, OJ, the question's not can the average person afford to buy it. The question is, can the average person afford not to buy it?
Well, we think it's a quality video.
Well, the price is certainly right. Hey, let me ask you a favor, OJ. Can I give out that number one more time?
Sure.
Okay, then. That's 1-800-555-0165.
Right. Okay, Norm, I'm going to let you go.
Okay, Juice. Hey, take care, buddy. O.J. Simpson, everybody. O.J. Simpson. O.J. the Juice. Well, in a sworn deposition this week, O.J. Simpson claimed that he never, ever beat, choked, or hit his ex-wife with a closed or open fist. Luckily for O.J., lawyers forgot to ask if he'd ever cut her head off.
Thanks so much for listening to Cinephile as we continue. I'm Adnan Virg, joined by special guest Norm MacDonald.
Wait, why is Jeff Goldblum on?
Well, yeah, sometimes we have all these TVs up here in the studio. There's maybe a story about Goldblum going on. He's looking kind of creepy there, isn't he?
Yeah, usually you can tell by the picture.
that something's happened to him.
Because he's in a bathroom. There's a picture of him in a bathroom.
Yeah, I think he must be selling something, right? Because it's a Goldblum.
Yeah.
For those listening,
Look at his muscles.
It's a Goldblum 8x10. There's pictures
Yeah,
of
they used to
maybe
say
he's
he had
coming to
the-
Connecticut.
He told me a story, but I guess I'm not at liberty really to.
That's okay.
tell it.
I'll
tell you off. I'll tell you off pod.
Please do. 2 Canadians here.
Yeah, that's right.
You're the second Canadian to be on the podcast. Will Arnett was the first.
Will Arnett.
Do you know
Where's he
Will at all?
from? Where's he from?
He's from Toronto,
Okay.
and he's right in the city. You were born in Quebec City, but you grew up in Ontario?
Yeah, Quebec City is all French, and we were English. So, the English hate the French, and the French hate the English.
Right, the Quebecois.
So, I was born with the Quebecois around, and so my dad, you could go to school, you could either learn French or Latin. So my dad would not let me learn French because he was so afraid that I would, take up with a French girl or something like that. So I learned Latin, and that doesn't help you that much in Quebec City, where there's a lot of French and no ancient Romans.
But I will say this: Montreal is more bilingual. Like Quebec City, is very much French.
No, Montreal's English.
In Montreal, if you go there, you speak English, you feel fine. People get terrified. They go, "Oh my God, I don't know the language. I don't understand."
Oh no, Montreal's very cosmopolite.
The reason I mention this is last week you met Donald Trump.
I
On
did.
the Tonight Show.
I sort of met him.
Well, how big are his hands?
I didn't really shake his hand.
Okay,
this is what happened. I have met him before, and he does have gigantic hands. It's like shaking the hand of a Holstein cow. No, but this is what this is the true thing that happened. There's like about 4 minutes difference because I had to follow him, So he leaves in the hall, and I'm in the hall, and I'm going to go on, right? I'm the second guest. First time ever I'm the second guest, thanks to Trump. So I see Donald Trump, so I say, Donald, can I get a picture? Can I get a picture? So he turns to me, and he goes, hey, he points at me, He goes, big smile. He goes, just give me 1 minute, and we'll take a picture. So I go, thanks. Then he turns around. He has a Secret Service, and he walks down the hall and gets in an elevator. He just
Donald Trump completely stiffed you.
Yeah, he said in a minute, and then he left the building.
The oldest trick in the book. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Exactly.
Just standing there at a ball game. Can you sign my ball?
Oh, my God.
Well, the reason I mentioned this
I remember Euchre. I was with Euchre in a booth, in Arizona. It was a spring training. And so all the fans were trying to reach up, to hand him balls to sign, So Euchre would sign a ball, and then he'd hand it to me. He goes, here, fucking sign it. So I go, no, I don't want to sign it. Like, they don't want me to sign. He goes, sign it, man. So I go, all right. So I'd sign the ball, and then the guy would get it. I'd go, oh. Like, I completely devalued what value Euchre had just put on the baseball.
That's not true. It's more value in that.
Probably worth less than an actual baseball at that point.
I want to get your thought. This is why I'm considering
a store-bought baseball.
Because as Canadians, we're not allowed to vote in this country.
No, we can't vote.
As people keep saying, no, you have to. Barry Melrose is like, no, you have to apply for U.S. citizenship so you can vote. This is the most important election of our time. And I looked up the rule. I don't know if you ever went this far, but in order to apply for U.S. citizenship, there's a caveat there, Norm, that says you must renounce all loyalty to any other country. And I said, hang on a second. Like, I'm proud to be an American, but I'm a proud Canadian.
You can't be a dual citizen?
No, it's you can, but you have to renounce loyalty to Canada.
Oh, I see.
I don't want to renounce loyalty.
Yeah.
Is that your reasoning as well, that you've never...
No, my reasoning is that the test is way too hard. You know what I mean?
How many Supreme Court justices are there?
How many stripes on the flag? I don't know. Like, our flag has a leaf. Like, here a flag is so important. Like, you can't burn it. Oh, you can't burn the flag.
You have to stand for it.
Yeah, Canada, it gets cold, you burn the flag. I mean, there's a leaf on it. It almost invites incineration,
Especially like the prairie provinces. They don't really... In Saskatchewan, go ahead.
Yeah.
OJ...
The Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Ottawa Rough Riders.
8 teams in the
Eight
CFL,
teams.
and both had the same nickname for years.
Two
That's
of them.
The first question Americans would always ask me.
Yeah,
They ask about
but there's
Don
no
Cherry.
answer to it.
No, there is no answer. It's just a really good name, though. I don't think there's
Fantastic name. It's
Yeah.
also an American name because, Teddy Roosevelt and the Rough Riders. So
Very
I don't know how it came to Canada, but no one has the answer to the question.
Your brother's a journalist at CBC, isn't he?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should ask him.
Yeah, he should do it like a documentary and try to figure it out because no one has the answer. I've seriously asked people. They're like, they laugh, and I go, no, but seriously, yeah, it's funny because you used to listen to football games on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
It would be very confusing because they'd be going, the Rough Riders have it at the 5-yard line. Bad news for the Rough Riders. If the Rough Riders get it here, the Rough Riders are in big trouble. You go, what the? What's going on?
So SNL Weekend Update, you were tremendous, and so much of it was not only your delivery but also your fearlessness, and it's one of the greatest jokes ever. I encourage everybody to go look it up. Norm was talking about Lisa Marie Presley and Michael Jackson, and he said they've split up, citing irreconcilable differences. She's more of a stay-at-home mom. He's more of a homosexual pedophile.
Oh, that's a terrible thing to say.
You were fearless. Like, did you have any?
I remember Lauren saying, you better, if you don't want to be sued by Michael Jackson. And I go, no, but secretly I did. I was like, oh my God, that'd be the coolest thing ever. It'd be like, and now Michael Jackson versus Norm. I'd be like, oh my God, this is, cool. How could that not be good for your career?
But Don Ohlmeyer, because he was buddies.
Don Ohlmeyer was the, for the folks at home.
Right.
Was the executive in charge of entertainment for the entire network of NBC.
And only because you were making scathing, hysterical jokes at O.J. Simpson's expense, who's now back in the news because this show was a huge hit.
He's back in the news.
Well, the show, I should say, his name is back in the news. Like the Emmys, Sarah Paulson won, the show won.
What show? Oh,
People versus O.J. Simpson.
Right.
And then the O.J. documentary, 30 for 30, which is on ESPN. And I think you should get more praise for the fact you were attacking him, rightfully so. And just because Ohlmeyer was buddies with him, was like, hey, you can't touch O.J. It's like, well, what do you mean? Like
Yeah, why wasn't I in that movie?
Oh, the 30 for 30, that's true, actually.
Or the 30 for 30, yeah, they could have put that on. Or the drama, you know what I mean?
Yeah, people versus
They could have had like Jay Moore going, hey, what's going on?
Could have had
Hey, Lisa Marie Presley. That hilarious impression.
David Letterman needed a Bette Midler moment that final week, and he got it from you.
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Because, and it was so great. I watched it again.
Not that I meant to cry. No, I didn't mean that, but I wanted to do one of his jokes. That was my idea.
It was awesome. It was amazing what you did. You went on, you were stand-up. It was the final week of Dave's show, and you said growing up in, I love this, by the way, you said growing up in Toronto, Canada. Nobody ever says Toronto, Ontario.
Yes.
They like to make it very plain.
They do.
Toronto, Canada.
They do, yeah.
And you said there's a joke that Dave used to tell. You tell it. You know the joke.
It was on a show called 90 Minutes Live, hosted by Peter Zosky. And the guests were Ricky Jay and David Letterman. And I was in the audience, the young teenager. And his joke was, I was driving down the street the other day, and in front of me was a garbage truck. And on the back of the garbage truck was a tiny sign that said, "Please do not follow too closely." One of life's simple pleasures, ruined by a meddling bureaucracy, ladies and gentlemen. Remember the old days when Dad used to pile the kids into the station wagon and we'd go out and follow a garbage truck?
You then turned to Dave and you said, we know Mr. Letterman does not like the mawkish or the sentimental, but if something is true, then it is not that. And Dave, I love you.
Yes, that I didn't mean to say those exact words. I certainly didn't mean to say I love you. But yeah, that was I just thought at that moment after the joke I should say something because everybody was being so cool about it before that. And like you say, there was no Bette Midler moment. There was no one saying, "We'll miss you" or anything like that. Everybody was just trying to be cool, you know?
Yeah.
And he was a very important person to me, David Letterman.
Because he defended you when Ohlmeyer.
Well, no, but more than that, I think he changed the entire culture. He changed how people speak, you know? Almost like ESPN changed the way that people speak about sports. And, you know, maybe David Letterman is responsible for ESPN.
No, there's no doubt. He was a huge influence. Dave used to come here because he's such an auto racing nut. He'd come here and watch the F1 races and stuff.
Oh, is that right?
They would let him in the back, and he would just go and set up.
Oh, you mean because there were
they didn't have that capability like in the early 90s.
Capability,
Like a
right,
Formula One race or something. He's like, oh, I'll just go to ESPN and come in here. I'm like, oh, there's Dave. Just
That's what I would do for football back when because of course there was no dish or anything like that. And in New York, all you could watch was a Jets game in the morning and a Giants game in the afternoon, and they both sucked. They were horrible.
Right.
And there were all these great games going on. So I would go to NBC and watch the feed. There'd be every game.
Right.
And then I'd pretend to be an announcer. I'd turn off I still do that when my son lets me. He hates when I do that. But I switch, like on DirecTV, and I go, now let's go,
Right. Well, you got a red zone now. You can just watch one channel.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't do. I do my own red zone.
Oh, so you like to do it.
And at this time, I'd like to welcome to the bandstand the great Jackie Byard.
The book is called Based on a True Story. A
What book is
Memoir.
that?
This is your book.
Oh, yes, my book. I wrote
can't
a
wait
book
to read this.
based on a true story, a memoir by Norm MacDonald.
It's going to be a huge hit. I can't
Is that
wait.
right, John?
There's Jennifer's here. Yeah, there's stories about Olmeyer. There's
Yes.
stories. We have a story. A buddy here, Daniel. Him and his wife wanted to watch Dirty Work together, so he DVR'd it, and they put it on, and it was not the film Dirty Work that you made.
Oh, there's another one. Yeah,
It was
a documentary.
No, it was an HBO film's softcore, I think, is the category.
It was a porn. One time in my hotel room, when before the computer and everything, right. The only time I'd ever see pornography was in a hotel, and sometimes they'd have the weirdest one. They'd have soft core pornography. You know what I mean? And this actually happened. I was looking around, and there was Pulp Fiction was on.
Oh, I love Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was Pump Friction.
No, Pulp Friction, maybe. Yeah. Pump Friction. That's like if you want to watch
geez.
Saving Private Ryan, you'd get Saving Ryan's Privates.
Not as good a film at all. Way less. It's just basically a futon and a lady.
Doesn't have Spielberg's directorial mastery.
Yeah, nothing.
First 10 minutes.
No sweeping. No sweeping crane shots.
Right.
Just a lot of close-ups of what looks like it should be on a medical channel of some sort.
Based on a true story, a memoir by Norm.
Based on a true story.
Go out and check it out.
Memoir by Norm MacDonald.
I thank you so much for coming, Norm. I know you're making a comeback.
Are we done?
Well, do you want to keep going?
They told me it was an hour.
Oh, is it? Okay, we'll keep going. No, he's giving me the wave here.
I
would
we're done.
Keep going.
Good Lord, I had no idea. Well, I think we should have something to wrap it up.
Sure. Well, tell me a great anecdote from the book that's something that can really sell it.
I'm trying to think of a sports joke.
Well, you've made a few.
Well, I'll tell you this. You want to know why?
Best
this
OJ
this
joke
is not
you
a
ever
joke. This is not a joke.
Okay, fair.
But I'm I used to be a very heavy sports gambler.
Well, now you're prognosticating on the Levitard show.
I am prognosticating on the Levitard show. Yes, I'm what am I? 7-3 for the year.
That's awesome, man.
That make money. That pay the juice well, And 7-3. Now listen to this. Professional football is the hardest sport to prognosticate. Baseball's the easiest. Now, why is what?
Well, baseball's the easiest because the starting pitcher, you just go.
No, baseball's the easiest because baseball is a game of streaks.
Okay, gotcha.
You think of Kirk Gibson hitting that home run, right?
Mm-hmm.
Against the much better team.
Oakland A's, yep.
What game did he hit that home run in?
Hit in game one.
Game one. He won the series in game one.
That's true.
So it shows you the power of the streak.
Right.
The Boston Red Sox, down 3.
To the Yankees, yep.
They win 4 in a row. And then what happens?
And they win the World Series.
They win another 4 in a row, right? Because of the streak, the power of the streak.
Yeah.
So you hit a team when it's on a good streak or a bad streak, and you just stay on them.
All right.
Stay on them. The reason professional football is so hard to bet is because the ball ain't round. Every other sport almost, the ball is round. A round golf ball in a round hole. You throw a round basketball into a round hoop. But a football is this odd shape. So if there's a fumble, that's anywhere, man.
Right.
And then there's this odd thing that's certainly against the rules. 30 guys jump on the football. Now, someone has that football at the bottom, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's being touched, so that should be his possession.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, he's being punched in the testicles, and his eyes are being gouged out, and someone grabs the football, someone else grabs the football, and finally they tear off the guy, and they go, look, the big giant guy has the football. What a coincidence. So,
there you have it. That's why football is so tough.
So don't bet football because the ball ain't round.
Thanks so much, Dorp. I appreciate it.
All right. This was beautiful, Adnan. Love you. First of all, Amy Schumer came from last time. Amy Schumer, I consider Amy Schumer the funniest person on the planet. If you take me out of the equation.
No, I meant me.
Oh, that's why you were coughing?
That's why I was clearing my throat, yeah. Not you.
I thought you were clearing your throat for me.
No.
No, taking you out of the equation.
Yeah.
But you're funny in a different way.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
Acerbic wit back on display as a judge on NBC's Last Comic Standing, reality show that aims to find the best stand-up talent in the country. One of their winners, Amy Schumer, of course.
Amy Schumer, I think, right now, is the funniest person in the entire world.
Do you really?
Really?
Yeah. Not woman.
Person.
I don't disagree with that. I put you up there, but she's close.
I wasn't counting me. Counting me, she's the second funniest person in the world.
Our viewers comment as they watch this online, and someone's just commented. Natalie says, on the Today Show, you said that Amy Schumer is the funniest person in the world. How does she compare to Letterman?
Oh, Letterman's funnier. But I was talking about the new generation of people that are out.
Yeah.
I consider, personally, and I take myself out of the equation, that Amy Schumer is the funniest person in the world. Now, if I were to put myself in the equation, I would say Amy Schumer is the second most funniest person in the world.
Well, you already said Dave's funnier, so she's third now.
Well, but Dave's retired.
But he's still a person.
I know, but it's hard to know if he's funny or not because he's living in Wyoming with a buffalo going, ah!
I don't believe he is. I think he's just back in Connecticut, where he always lived.
That's what what's his name used to say, Rickles.
Rickles used to say that.
Well, he used to say
Wyoming?
no. He used to say there's one guy in a shed with a rake going, ah! Like he just say stuff that made no sense. That's what I loved about Rickles.
Yeah, right.
Mark. Yay!
You're kidding me.
No! We just found out that Norm MacDonald passed away. Oh my God. I love Norm MacDonald.
He's young. And there it goes.
I don't know what to say.
Me either.
Yeah, we worked together on Last Comic Standing. I took the job because I wanted to work with Norm MacDonald, and we fought every day.
You fought with him?
We not like getting, but we would joke back and forth with each other, and it took a little while for us to gel. You know, that he would say something and I would make fun of it, and he was like, "Why is the host making fun of the judge?"
When you were at the ATM machine, you were no longer a black guy. You were a human being.
That was great. Almost racist, but then you got it right under the bar, Norm. That's why I love you. Keep it going for DC Urban, everybody. Great job, please.
Devastated, Conan O'Brien writing, Norm had the most unique comedic voice I have ever encountered, and he was so relentlessly and uncompromisingly funny. I will never laugh that hard again. Jim Carrey calling him a dear friend, saying he was one of our most precious gems, an honest and courageous comedy genius. I love him. Whitney Cummings tweeted, Norm is the pinnacle of bravery and originality. Senator Bob Dole, who McDonald often played on SNL, sharing a photo with the caption, he was a great talent, and I loved laughing with him on SNL. Bob Dole will miss Norm MacDonald.
There's no chance of you running for president again?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, really? Because, it'd be good for me.
And the Laugh Factory's marquee in Hollywood tonight lit up with McDonald's bright smile and the message, make God laugh.
I like it with the Laugh Factory. It says, God says, when a guy dies. Didn't a comic die recently?
Like Jonathan
Winters. So then they'll say,
make God laugh.
Make God laugh. What does it say?
Make God laugh.
Jonathan Winters. Make God laugh.
Some really sad news today. We have lost an absolute comedy legend. I'm sure you'll have seen this in the news today. Norm MacDonald passed away today far too soon, far too young, after a 9-year battle with cancer. A battle that Norm never told anybody about, because all Norm ever wanted to do was to make us laugh. And he was absolutely brilliant at it. He said Mickey Mouse is huge at Disney World. If you see Mickey Mouse at Disney World, you're like, kids, go and get him. Oh, it's Mickey Mouse. He goes, you see that same Mickey Mouse in a 7-Eleven, you are holding your kids back like, whoa. Because he's only big within the confines of Disneyland.
He took a picture with a child. Yeah. And the child slipped from his hands, from Mickey Mouse's hands. Fortunately, Mickey Mouse has huge shoes, so the shoes broke the child's fall. And thank goodness for that. And he was fine, but he was crying, and everyone was concerned. Oh, except Mickey Mouse had a big smile, like he can't.
Yeah, you're right. He was completely nonplussed.
That's great.
He was not nonplussed. He was unaffected.
I always think about this. I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure I got it right. This is my favorite Weekend Update joke of all time that I think about often. It is a perfect Norm joke. The richest girl in the world, billionaire Athena Onassis, celebrated her 10th birthday this week. What's it like to be the richest girl in the world? Well, to give you some idea, at the party, they had 2 cakes.
The richest girl in the world, billionaire Athena Onassis, celebrated her 10th birthday this week. What's it like to be the richest girl in the world? Well, to give you some idea, at the party, they had 2 cakes.
SNL 40th was a few years ago. I got to stand on stage with Colin Quinn and Kevin Nealon and Norm. And the SNL 40th was a night where everyone just got a couple things to say. There was in an effort to find. And I remember laughing really hard, not at what Norm was saying as much as the idea that any of us thought Norm would play by anyone else's rules on any night.
We here are mere utility infielders. But right now, I'm going to introduce a man.
Right now? Over the years, I started at SNL in 2001. And I remember one time Norm walked back into the studio to visit. I don't remember how old his son was at the time, but his son was young, and someone said, "Hey, Norm, how's being a dad?" And he said, "It's going great, still no abductions." That's the first thing I ever heard him say in person. My son was watching you on Update and said to me, "You talk like Seth Meyers." And he told me that when he said that, he said, "Oh no, my son doesn't know how time works." he was the gold standard, and he will continue to be the gold standard. And
I've been searching for what's missing, but the answer.
How do you figure out how much to share about what goes on behind the scenes at SNL? Because I know that you were talking about Eddie not doing Bill Cosby on Howard Stern's show, and Seth Meyers wasn't crazy about that. He came out about the Ellen and said, I wouldn't have told that story.
Seth Meyers said that?
Yeah, he said, do we have the quote here? Just bring up the quote. He said, I wouldn't have told it. I feel the same way. I think when you're at SNL, you're seeing so many different things behind the scenes. There are often things to give away that are yours to give away. Norm played it in a way that is very Norm MacDonald. And he went on to praise you, but I don't know what that means. I mean, how do you choose what to reveal and what not to reveal, what to share and what not to share about an institution as powerful as this?
I always think, what would Seth Meyers do? It's ridiculous.
Do you have like a necklace or something with a WWSMD on it? And whenever you're in a pickle, just hold that and think, what would Seth do?
Yeah, because, if you really want to be really funny, then that's what you want to do. You want to think, what would make Seth Meyers laugh? That's how I live my life.
What do you think of his show?
Of what show?
The Seth Meyers show.
It's not something I would do.
Demi Moore is wrapped filming on G.I. Jane, in which she plays a Navy SEAL combat officer. Moore says that in contrast to other Hollywood portrayals of women in the military, her character will have giant breasts.
I got addicted to you. Oh, no, no, no. And come to think of it, I need somebody like you. Oh, no, no, no. I need someone like you.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane.
A study says that pot use in high school is up sharply. Don't I know it? Oh, yeah. I'm joking. And, I don't really sell drugs to children. And now, singer Willie Nelson, who was arrested recently in Texas for marijuana possession, saw the charges against him dropped this week. A judge ruled the arrest had been illegal because police didn't have probable cause to search his car for pot. How about the fact he's Willie Nelson? And also in music news, the Black Crowes have announced that they will donate profits from a recent concert to victims of the Oklahoma City's bombing. Then the band will smoke a huge amount of pot. In the December issue of Playboy, 60 Minutes reporter Mike Wallace reveals that he has not only smoked marijuana, but that it made him sexually aroused. According to Wallace, he made these comments in an effort to frighten young people off sex and drugs forever. In Amsterdam, a rubber factory has begun producing water beds for cows. Let that be a reminder to anyone who wants to legalize marijuana here in the United States. And in North Carolina, the Bowman Gray School of Medicine is looking for 20 habitual marijuana smokers who they'll provide with free pot in order to study the effects of the drug. Note to self, spend summer vacation at Bowman Gray School of Medicine. Maybe take Timmy Meadows along with you. Charged by critics with failure to prepare an exit strategy for Bosnia, a defiant President Clinton today insisted that he has one ready. Should the situation deteriorate, he will have all 20,000 troops airlifted to England and smoking pot within 24 hours. President Bill Clinton and Russian President Boris Yeltsin have made tentative plans to meet early next year. According to the White House, the pair will use the meeting to resume their ongoing debate drinking versus pot smoking. Moments after the Bosnian peace treaty was signed in Paris, grenades rocked Sarajevo, killing 6 people. Asked if the renewed violence raises questions about the ceasefire, President Clinton hopped a plane to England and lit up a big fat joint. President Clinton said that if Dr. King were alive today, he would have supported the deployment of U.S. troops to Bosnia. Later, when asked how he could use the late civil rights leader's name in such a self-serving manner, Clinton hopped a plane to England and lit up a big fat joint. Sapphire called the First Lady a, quote, congenital liar. Clinton responded by saying Sapphire, quote, deserves a pop in the nose. Sapphire replied by offering to fight Bill Clinton, quote, anytime, any place. The president answered, quote, how about right now? Then hopped a plane to England and lit up a big fat joint. And of course, it was very inspiring to see President Clinton up here on crutches making a speech. I mean, I thought that was just amazing, you know. I mean, it's been difficult for the president. You know, he can't jog now, and he needs help getting around, and he's still, you know, occasionally suffers great pain, you know. On the upside, you got your medical marijuana, so that's, you know. You must inhale, sir. It's the only way you're going to get better. But,
We hate the most.
Do you think we stopped saying N-rig, which means, you know, or N-rich, or nigger-rich, or nigger-rig, which were terms that some people are going, were they terms? Because, well, it's a fine. Or do you think we just shouldn't use people?
Or what'd they say when you, hey, stop with that joint there, you're getting spit on it.
So, no, hold on a second. So most people would say that we stopped those things because it was egregious.
Yes.
I know what I'm saying.
You know, I know.
And so you have to say, so if the answer...
Does President Clinton have a bent penis? Well, according to a doctor who examined him last week, the president's genitals are, quote, completely 100% normal. It should be noted, however, that the doctor who examined him also has a bent penis. That may color his findings a little. As his last stop on the trip, the president met in Buenos Aires Thursday with Argentinian President Carlos Menem. During the meeting, Clinton asked Menem to continue with economic reform and protect democratic freedoms. Menem, in turn, asked Clinton to show him his bent penis. Tomorrow, Chinese President Jiang Zemin begins a week-long visit that could define U.S. relations with China for years to come. President Clinton plans to ask Jiang for several things, including human rights reform, trade expansion, and a Chinese herb said to have the power to straighten a bent penis. This week, an angry President Clinton demanded that Congress stop dragging its feet on something he has long championed, a medical Bill of Rights for U.S. citizens. In all, there are 10 items in the President's Bill of Rights, running from number 1, a rich, satisfying sex life is the foundation of good health, to number 10, a straight penis is not a privilege, it is a right.
I have to know one thing before you go today. I know there are other questions, but you say that you there were distinguishing characteristics on the president's private parts. For America, please tell us what that is. Well, we've got to know.
Well, it was like that.
Oh, God.
God, it was.
The terms. Okay, that was it. Thank you. Well,
Well, you talk about like somebody who stands up against the greats with a singular voice. All you need to hear is one. It's like those great jazz musicians. You can tell the difference between Dexter Gordon and John Coltrane, you know, and just in a few notes, whether it's and Norm Macdonald's one of those guys who would just, you could tell a joke, they could get nothing, and then he could tell that same joke and murder with it, all because of the way his incredible, unique delivery. And there was an innate sense to him of what was funny, and an impeccable timing that was just, you know, the best form of it was for stand-up. Also, conversation. I mean, just to be in a room with him, to be on a plane with him.
As a comedian, then do you learn from each other as far as that goes? Do you kind of like, okay, he told this joke this way, and you kind of like that friendly competition, and you know who can tell the joke better?
No, it's like tennis. It's definitely like tennis. I mean, you want to play with somebody better than you. And Norm was the funniest guy in the room. Norm wasn't necessarily the one who got always the biggest laughs from the audience, but from the comedians, we knew he was a particular genius, you know. Norm would have this incredible ability to tell a joke and you have no idea where it's going. And then you get lost and you think, oh, man, I know where this is going. But then the next thing you know, you forget. He was a master of turns and sleight. And like, you know, last time I performed with him in 2016, I didn't know it was going to be the last time I performed with him. I just found that out in my old pictures, and he was like about ready to light a cigarette, and then he would tell a joke, and then and then it was just anything that could be funny, you know. And
all afternoon, as we do this, you've been playing on and off with a cigarette. Do you smoke?
I quit smoking a year ago.
Good for you.
Thank you. You quit smoking.
Yeah.
And you, when you smoked at the Tomorrow Show,
we puffed. We didn't smoke. We puffed.
You probably caused many children to start smoking.
So you hold a cigarette and you never light it?
Yes, it helps me. I have an oral fixation, the doctors tell me. That never. I'm like Beretta.
Like he did this thing about like this joke, which I just thought it's just genius. He said, "You ever find yourself in the middle of a lie, and you realize, wait a minute. There's no possible way that I could benefit from this lie. Why am I lying? Like, hey, you see the new Star Wars movie? Yeah." And that's the joke.
I'm trying to become a better person. Try not to lie as much as I used to. You know, you ever lie for no reason, you know? Usually there's a purpose to your lies, but sometimes, you know, just a big lie will spill out of your evil head there. You know, you don't even know why, you know, like, a guy will come up to you and go, "Hey, you ever see that movie with Meryl Streep and the horse?" And then you go, "Yes." Then in the back of your head, you go, "What the hell am I lying about over here? I stand to gain nothing by this lie. The hell am I thinking back here in my head?"
It's the timing, it's the idea, it's the pause, it's the kind of, you know, he was very proud of the fact that he would always play, you know, he was the smartest guy in the room too, the most well-read, you know, and maybe I would read one book on an author. He read them all.
Yeah.
And, but he always said, you know, these guys are trying to play more than you. The audience don't like that. They don't like that. They want somebody that, like, you know, Charlie Chaplin was the biggest star in the world because he was less than everybody else. He said, look at that guy. Yeah, my life's tough, but look at that guy. And he's right. Yeah. And that was a big influence on me. But I will perform this weekend. I was thinking about not coming out. Just like, but I don't know. Norm wouldn't want that. I'm going to go perform and dedicate it to Norm, and I'll do some of Norm's jokes.
You know, really smart. You know, he was like a math genius, and he was extremely bright. So one time we were doing a show in Biloxi, Mississippi, and I'm not like him at all. Except if you say to me like, you can't say that or talk about a certain thing or don't say that, I'm like, well, now I have to. It's just kind of your instinct as a comic to bug people.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
Like, don't do that. It really bothers me. And then you're kind of a jerk, and they're like, oh, you mean like this? So so we were doing a show, and I opened for him I did about, I guess, 15 minutes or 20. Then he headlined, but it was for a what do you call it? When they comp the audience, you know what I mean? For big gamblers, I forget the word.
Yeah.
So there wasn't people paying tickets, but anyway, they did it. We did it. So he's doing the show, and he's very funny, but he's dirty. So all of a sudden, someone yells out, "Well, we don't like that kind of talk." So there's about 400 people there, and he goes, "Well, how many of you don't like that kind of talk?" And it was like practically the whole room. He goes, "Well, how many of you don't mind?" And it was like 20 people. So he goes, or 10 people. He goes, "Well, I hate to disappoint those 10 people because the rest of you don't like it." And then he just got dirtier. And I'm just like crying, laughing, because the audience wasn't even laughing, but he just, and that was a typical him.
As you can see, he has wavy hair. It's waving goodbye on account he's going bald.
I remember the joke was like, your face looks like cauliflower, like you look so ugly, your face looks like cauliflower. And then people would laugh, and Bob was laughing hysterically because, yeah, like a cauliflower.
No, the audience wasn't laughing at all.
No,
They put in laughs afterwards, but I was there on stage.
No, but Bob has a beautiful face like a flower. Yeah, cauliflower. No offense, but your face looks like a cauliflower.
I mean, I was there.
I'm like dying laughing,
Yeah, I was there for the ESPY Awards when he hosted. And a lot of ESPN executives were white-knuckling his monologue the entire time. And when he told the joke about Charles Woodson winning the Heisman Trophy.
Great, Manny. He became the first defensive player to win the Heisman Trophy. And congratulations, Charles. That is something that no one can ever take away from you. Unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case... all bets are off.
Did they laugh?
Well, there was a lot of, I think, sort of whoa and nervous laughter, and then cutting away to athletes who were just like shaking their heads like they didn't know what to do. They had no idea what to do with their faces, at that time.
Right, it's like that. And he you take a big risk when you do that. I mean, he did that at the casino. We were banned I couldn't work there for 5 years.
Really? Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
He got banned from that casino in Biloxi, Mississippi? For 5 years?
And he was gambling, and he got caught counting cards.
Oh, there's that, too.
Well, I mean...
So the combo...
You know what it was? It was like, he was kind of like the Bob Dylan of comedy. He was doing lyrics and words and phrases that nobody else in comedy was using. And it wasn't that he told jokes as much as just told stories in a funny way and had a just funny inflection. It was truly an original. I mean, that was, everybody else wrote jokes. He talked funny. And just having a conversation with him was, even when he told a joke, he did it in such a way you think he was just talking,
Right.
I mean, he talked about. I saw him on a show. This was a joke he told. It was pretty funny. So the guy goes into this. Guy's going to story, and what kind of story? You know how he would just do that weird talking.
Right.
And he says, "Give me a." Says to the clerk, "Hey, give me a Polish sausage." And the guy says, "Oh, are you Polish?" And says, "First of all, it's very insulting." Okay. I come in for Polish. Tell you after I'm Polish. He says, if I came in and asked for a pizza, would you ask I'm Italian? If a Chinese food, you say, "Are you Chinese?" well, why did you ask if I was Polish? And the guy says, because this is a hardware store. And it was, I mean, he told it much funnier than I told it. I don't think it was his joke, but it was one of those jokes that goes around. But when he told it was just so hilarious. I mean, and it's so deadpan, and it's such a, him, Bob Newhart, they're just legendary guys. And he was not a guy, I tried to teach him how to drive. I had him on my show, the car show, and we went out to the racetrack out of Willow Springs, right? And I'm going to get an Alfa Romeo, And I go, this is the steering wheel here? Yeah, that's the steering wheel. Okay, and I'm riding next to him. And he's going 18, 19 miles an hour. He goes, oh, this thing is pretty quick. I go, no, it's not, Norm. You're only going 18 miles an hour. I never knew how he even got around L.A. because he never drove. So this was before Uber or anything,
Right. No, you would always ask friends for a ride. Always.
Yeah. So I said, well, Norm, let me show you what it can do, So I get in the car, I go a little fast. I'm going 25, 30. He's going, hey, whoa, hey, slow down there. Hey, take it easy. Hey, take it. I go, no, we're going 35 miles an hour. We're on a racetrack. There's not even another vehicle on the course. And he was hilarious. And he was, at one point, he got it up to 50 miles an hour. He's like, oh, this is really flying. Hey, we're moving here now. Hey, that whole thing. And, he was just great. He was just great.
Still have your foot on the brake, going to put it in drive. All right, let's proceed forward.
By pressing the gas?
Yes. Take your foot off the brake.
Just lightly press the gas, right?
There you go. There you go. There you are. And obviously turn the wheel right to go right. Yeah, okay.
My God, I'm a good car driver.
How do you get around L.A. without a driver's license?
Uber?
So Uber must be like a godsend for you, huh?
Yeah. Oh, my Lord. Wait. That's not the...
Okay, that's great.
You know what happened there, Jay?
You were going 24 miles an hour.
Was that it?
Yeah, you're going 24.
I confused the brake with the gas momentarily.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not a good thing to do. Well, look, you're going 47 now. This is a new record.
It's a new record, man. This is fun. Oh, my Lord. Wait, Jay? Okay.
You're doing all right.
He was, if you didn't know he was Norm MacDonald, you think he was just some sort of odd character,
Right.
But truly a character in the best sense of that word. He was a great impressionist. He did a great Burt Reynolds.
Oh, that was brilliant.
Oh, yeah, right.
I mean, right down where you thought, is that Burt Reynolds?
Hey, check out the podium. Look at this.
Mr. Reynolds has apparently changed his name to Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, that's right. Turd Ferguson. It's a funny name.
Great.
He did a great Letterman. I'd never seen anybody do Letterman. And he did a great Letterman. It was really, really, I think even Letterman was like, whoa,
Hey, you got any gum? Crunch.
Right.
No, he was,
He was a
I'd forgotten about that. He did Letterman, and they did a whole send up on of Letterman on that.
The saddest part of it, he's one of those guys. You just couldn't wait for him to become a cranky old man because he was a cranky young man,
Right.
And Norm was one of those guys you just wanted to live forever, just because. As a cranky young man, it was funny. As a cranky old man, it would be perfectly in character, And he could really then get away with anything because he was an old guy,
Absolutely. Well,
so happy that the moth joke has been getting circulated so much from our Tonight Show because it is completely outrageous what he's doing. It is, it's the Tonight Show. And he is telling this very long story, and he's taking all the time in the world. And I love it just because even though I was there, I'm delighted every time I see it.
Yeah.
I every time I see it, I'm delighted with it because what he's doing breaks every rule. brevity is the soul of wit. That is the rule.
Yeah.
Keep it, and man, he completely, like Picasso, blew up the form. He goes and he tells this joke forever and then finally gets to this punchline. And you can see that everyone's delighted, but he has broken every rule in the book. And I was talking to Lori Joe, and I asked her if it's okay if I related this, and she said it was okay. But she said that not too long ago, someone asked Norm about the moth story that he told on our Tonight Show, and that she said, the guy wanted to know what made you have the nerve to do that, and that he said that, it was that goddamn Frank Smiley. He said, I was only supposed to do one segment. And then suddenly in the commercial break, Frank came over and said, like, you're doing another one, because whenever I had Norm, I was greedy. I wanted more Norm. I always wanted more Norm. And so he didn't know that we were going to ask him to do a second segment. He had nothing planned, absolutely nothing planned. And so as recently as like not that long ago, I think this was a couple of months ago, he was telling somebody, damn it, that was Frank Smiley. Hey, get back out there. Conan wants more.
So he heard that joke from Colin Quinn. And he did the segment, and it was he had 7 minutes prepared.
Yeah.
And so he basically, you say, and then he's done.
He's done.
You say, we'll be right back with more Norm. And he goes, I've got nothing to say.
Yeah.
So then he remembered the Colin joke, and it was a 20-second joke. So he asked you, how long is the segment? And he was hoping you'd say 20 seconds.
Right.
But you said 7 minutes.
Yep.
So it became a 7-minute joke.
Yeah, and he's doing that. This has to be understood. He's doing this on the fly.
Yep.
So his way to slow it down that he came up with on the fly is he invents...
It's a Chekhov play.
It's a Chekhov play.
With Russian names.
With Russian names, and there's a sadness, an ineffable sadness in life weighing on the character's soul. And, and I'm thinking, who... I've never met anybody who would take that chance and make that choice. And I'll never meet anybody like him again.
Well, he was the ballsiest comedian in the history of comedians.
He was taking that, and he was saying, like, the joke doesn't matter. Like that, he would watching that, seeing that clip again. You're getting to see his brain. Yeah. He's just showing you his brain. And the notion that the joke is the thing, the joke isn't the thing.
No, it's the journey.
It's taking a stroll through this guy's brain and hearing the choices that he makes and what he has to say. And, and I think that was like kind of what, like, there was so much of like what he, would say, like, well, that doesn't matter. This matters, and what mattered to him was his own self-expression, was spreading his own kind of genius and his own point of view.
So we're seeing it a little bit in process here, but obviously we watch you on late night shows. We hear you. I just heard you on Howard Stern. We watch you on your podcast, and what we find is suddenly we're sucked into the vortex of a nearly 9-minute joke that we have no idea how it emerged or where it will lead and what will happen with it, except that it will be very funny, and we'll be trying to get everybody to listen to it the next day. How do you come saying, "Oh, I have a joke"?
You mean like a street joke, like a real
street joke?
You mean like an actual joke?
Well, I mean like the
like
moth joke or the Dirty Johnny joke.
Yeah, I don't make up those jokes.
They're just out there?
No. Have you ever tried to make up a joke? Like, no comic in the world can make up an actual joke. Like a guy walks into a bar and this happens. This is
startling information.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I thought you come with these things written down on paper, right?
No. They call like a comedian's act jokes, but they haven't been jokes for years. you know, it changed with Alan King to observational comedy. You know, like talking about crabgrass in your neighbor's fucking yard or something. I don't care for Alan King.
Well, a lot of America is upset right now because there's a huge Alan King audience here.
Oh, yes, we're
yeah,
on
yeah.
Facebook, yeah.
Or maybe it's Larry King. So you're dodging this a little bit. So these are old jokes that you're stealing from Rich Little?
Not Rich Little didn't tell jokes. No, but like the moth joke, for instance. Colin Quinn told me that joke, and he said, you know, have you ever heard of the moth joke? Meaning it was a famous joke. And I said, no. And he said, a moth goes into a podiatrist's office, and he says, I have terrible problems, doctor, and I think I'm going mad. And the podiatrist goes, oh, well, that's too bad, moth, but why come to me? I'm a podiatrist. You should be going to see a psychiatrist. Why did you come to my office? And the moth says, because the light was on.
So that's a good joke, but that's not your joke.
That's not my joke. So
No.
I was on the Conan O'Brien show, and I was going to do one segment, and at the end of the segment, he said, we'll be right back with more Norm. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I thought a guy was going to show new Christmas toys. So I said, I don't got nothing to say. And then I remember that Colin Quinn, he said, just talk. So I remember that Colin Quinn joke, and which is about a 20-second joke, you know. So I said, how long is this segment? Hoping he'd say 20 seconds. And he said about 7 minutes, you know. So I made the joke 7 minutes long.
Today there was a story about, like, you know, Dave Chappelle released a special on Netflix today.
Oh, he did today?
And,
Yeah.
And there's a joke in there where he says that it was okay what Kevin Spacey did to Anthony Rapp because Anthony Rapp grew up to be gay anyway. And he went on to say it's actually not okay, but he's taking some heat for it. Do you think it's right or wrong or for him to say something like that? Do you think it's okay to say? Or what do you think?
I think Chappelle's the greatest comedian.
If women are actually equal to men, then there would be no WNBA, would there? You would just be good enough to play in the NBA with us. Or, here's another idea that's going to be very controversial. You could shut the fuck up.
After closing out a successful first season, the WNBA is considering several changes to improve the level of play in the league next year. Among the proposals, extending the playoffs, increasing salaries, bringing back the three-point line, and replacing all the female players with guys. The WNBA officials expanded to 10 teams this week, adding franchises in Detroit and Washington, D.C. But before you get too excited about the new additions to the league, remember, all of the players are still women. They stink at basketball, that's the problem. Other than that, it'd be a good, good game, but they're all horrible, so it makes for a kind of a boring game.
The next time I watch a WNBA game will be the first time I watch a WNBA game.
I know more than half the people in this room have been molested in their lives. But it wasn't no goddamn Michael Jackson, was it? This kid got his dick sucked by the king of pop. You know how good it must have felt to go to school the next day after that shit? Hey, Billy, how was the weekend? How was my weekend? Michael Jackson sucked my dick. And that was my first sexual experience. If I'm starting here, then sky's the limit.
Yeah. I mean, even like you say, your unwanted WNT allegations against Michael Jackson. There had to be kids that were like, well, "This is pretty cool." Yeah. This is not some old priest.
The rule is that no matter what you do in your artistic expression, you are never, ever allowed to upset the alphabet people. You know who I mean. Those people that took 20% of the alphabet for themselves. I'd say the letters, but I don't want to conjure their anger. It's too late now. I'm talking about them L's and them B's and them G's and the T's.
He should have just gone, I'm a lady, and then that would have been good for the LGBTGB. The community, you know, the community. I don't know if you've been over, seen them and shit, but it's a nice community. And it would have been good. All the LGBTBL. I try to be inclusive of all the letters in the alphabet.
Everybody in the car respects the T's, but everyone also resents the T's. It's not the T's fault, but everyone in the car just feels like the T's are making the trip take longer.
I'm saying, do you think any of them go, I wonder if those, do you ever think at the meetings they go, could I, because you know, in their community, the LGBT community, I don't know where it exists, where they have their headquarters, but do you ever think the L's, the G's, and the B's go, I have an idea. The T's, you know, I think it's LGB sounds good. And then somebody else would go, somebody with a hat that looked like Carmen Miranda's would go, no, I like LGBT. And then the other person, you're gonna get a lot of trouble for this segment.
I'm not.
What?
I'm not.
I love everybody. You know what I mean? Without love, what do we got? I don't care if a guy's a guy, a girl, a guy, girl, I couldn't care less. I love them all.
What do you make of...
I'll have sex with any of them.
So you're the B?
Huh?
You're the B?
No, I'm a person that is so tolerant that I would have sex with an L, a G, a B, or a T. Isn't that nice? But I would not have sex with a straight person.
Today there was a story about, like, you know, Dave Chappelle released a special on Netflix today.
Oh, he did today?
And,
Yeah.
And there's a joke in there where he says that it was okay what Kevin Spacey did to Anthony Rapp because Anthony Rapp grew up to be gay anyway. And he went on to say it's actually not okay, but he's taking some heat for it. Do you think it's right or wrong or for him to say something like that? Do you think it's okay to say? Or what do you think?
I think Chappelle's the greatest comedian.
If women are actually equal to men, then there would be no WNBA, would there? You would just be good enough to play in the NBA with us. Or, here's another idea that's going to be very controversial. You could shut the fuck up.
After closing out a successful first season, the WNBA is considering several changes to improve the level of play in the league next year. Among the proposals, extending the playoffs, increasing salaries, bringing back the three-point line, and replacing all the female players with guys. The WNBA officials expanded to 10 teams this week, adding franchises in Detroit and Washington, D.C. But before you get too excited about the new additions to the league, remember, all of the players are still women. They stink at basketball, that's the problem. Other than that, it'd be a good, good game, but they're all horrible, so it makes for a kind of a boring game.
The next time I watch a WNBA game will be the first time I watch a WNBA game.
more than half the people in this room have been molested in their lives. But it wasn't no goddamn Michael Jackson, was it? This kid got his dick sucked by the king of pop.
Yeah. I mean, even like you say, your unwanted, W-O-N-T, allegations against Michael Jackson, there had to be kids that were like, well, this is pretty cool. Yeah. This is not some old pre.
I know it's time to close my eyes to old ends, open up to new friends, leave my heart in Berlin, where the tables turning, seeking.
Well, I can tell a joke.
Go for it.
Yeah, please do. Please. Yeah. There was a little boy in school named Dirty Johnny. Now, he's not dirty in this joke, but he'd always be a hellion in class, and the teacher didn't think much of him. So the teacher has a project, or not a project, but an in-class thing. How'd that go again? She says, now, this is what you're going to do here, class. I want you to stand up and tell the class what a story from your life, and then afterwards say the moral to that story. So a girl puts up her hand. Yes, Becky. What's your story? So Becky stands up. She goes, my dad works for the hatchery here in town, and what happens was he got about 15 eggs. And he put them all in one basket, all in the same basket. So he put all his eggs in one basket. And he put it on the horse and buggy and drove back home. And by God, Becky says, the bouncing and all the eggs broke. Well, that's a good story, the teacher says, but what would the moral be to that? Becky says, well, the moral is, don't put all your eggs into one basket. But goddamn, says the teacher, that's a good one. Anybody else? Marjorie puts up her hand. Marjorie, what's your story? She says, well, my dad worked for the hatchery, as all of us. Thank God for the hatchery. She says, or we'd all be lost. But anyways, my dad knows that eggs become chickens. And so he was counting his chickens, and he added in the eggs, you see. And then he put them on a horse and buggy to go to town, and they all broke. Well, what's the lesson to that? The teacher says. She can't understand. And she says, well, don't count your chickens before they hatch out of an egg. So the teacher says, that's a great one, too. Anybody else? Well, wouldn't you know, Dirty Johnny has his hand up. So the teacher's like, holy God, I don't want it. But on the other hand, I made an oath to every child, should I suppose I gotta. All right, Dirty Johnny, what do you have to say? Johnny stands up. The story's about my Uncle Terry. He never worked at the hatchery. On account he was in Vietnam. And he got disability. He don't even like people work at the hatchery. But the story happened far from these shores, in a little town called Da Nang. Terry was not well liked. His whole troop left him, abandoned. And he woke up in the weeds, and all they left him with was 3 bottles of Jack Daniels, some weapons. Terry stood up and downed 1 bottle right away. Said, if I'm going out, I'm going out. He took his Balishnikov and a couple of Glocks and his 2 bottles, and away he went. He found a town. And he didn't know if it was Charlie or if it was one he was sent to protect. But all he knew was he had hate in his gut. So he started firing.
And he fired the Kalashnikov with an arcing kind of, like a farmer would with hay, with a scythe. And sure enough, the men fell like hay before him. And then the women, and by God, I'm ashamed to say it, but then the children. And finally, all was left was Uncle Terry standing in the mud and the blood and the glory. And he touched his pants, and it was wet, and he said he was ashamed. He felt shame, Uncle Terry, for he'd pissed himself. Well, he touched it again. It was not urine at all, but ejaculate. And Uncle Terry felt pride where shame once was. And the teacher's like, good Christ, what kind of a story is that? What the hell is the moral to that? Oh, well, he says, when Uncle Terry's been drinking, you don't fuck with him. Now, especially if you work at the hatchery. Now, listen. So listen, guys, this has been fun, hasn't it?
This has been probably my favorite.
Good. It saves me a trip to my senile uncle. So that's.
This Easter Sunday, here, you want to read this one time?
Yeah.
This seems like more of a your kind of joke. You can do it in the camera if you want, whatever you want to do.
This Easter Sunday, Snoop Dogg gets to say, Christ is risen.
There you go. Have make it.
Warning to the Easter Bunny, don't put all your eggs in one basket, fella. You handpicked these. We wear new clothes on Easter to represent Christ's triumphant appearance to the stunned apostles in his sharp two-button blazer by Hugo Boss. What the fuck?
I don't know about that one. In the coffee shop line today, I hear the guy behind me say, I like to start by biting the ears off. And I had to pray, please, God, let him be talking about a chocolate Easter bunny.
I'm just wondering you're always worried. What are you working on right now?
I am just finishing a project. This is one of the biggest projects I have ever done. It's amazing. It's a spectacular film.
What kinds of drama? A comedy, probably?
No, it's an adventure. It's action, science fiction.
Wow.
It's amazing.
This is a big budget movie?
Huge budget. I can't even quote the price.
What? Who's directing it?
It's the guy with the glasses. He sits in the front of the Lakers games. Spike Jones.
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee, that's it. And there's some comedy, so it's co-directed by Woody Allen. They brought him in to co-direct the comedy scenes. Bruce Willis tries to save us. But if
Isn't there a lot of African Americans as in a Spike Lee movie?
There's plenty of them. Yeah. But what we try to do is these are not ones that don't speak English.
Yeah.
So they CGI them in.
The black people.
Yeah. But we got Steve McQueen in
There's a director, Steve McQueen?
Yes.
There's 3 directors involved. You're in a Bruce Willis vehicle where you're playing the Bruce Willis role as Woody Allen?
No, I don't try to do it. Woody Allen is directing the undead who are trying to crash into Earth. And then I get in a fight with Sylvester Stallone, of all people. Anyway, the Stallone brothers challenge
shut-ins?
We're going to get DVDs.
The Stallone brothers? Frank
Stallone.
Frank Stallone's in this movie.
Well, why would that surprise you? I'm beginning to think that this is not even true.
It sounds a little outlandish.
April Fools. I missed the April Fools show you did. So
we never.
We should go our separate ways, but now you're back.
Well, finally, the Guinness Book of World Records announced this week that Gul Mohammed of New Delhi, at 22.8 inches tall, is the shortest man in the world to have Eddie Murphy's head.
One time when I had my sitcom, the showrunner goes,
why don't we have a big star every week do the cold opening?
Uh-huh.
And I go, oh, sure, yeah. And he goes, you can get big stars, right? I'm like, no, I can't get anyone. And they go, we got Eddie Murphy on the phone. I'm like, why, what? And they're like, yeah, for the cold opening. And I go, what cold opening? And so they hand me this script, so I'm talking to Eddie Murphy, and I don't know Eddie Murphy. And he's being like super zen-like, He's an amazing guy because he's like all zen and peaceful. And then he tells a story and it's hysterical. Like all of a sudden he's doing voices. Because he was talking about being a director, and he goes real peacefully, he's like, the directors in Hollywood are very tough to find one. Frank Oz was magnificent, but I was very unhappy with the other directors. Finally, I had to direct myself. And I directed Harlem Nights, and the Red Fox was in it. And so Red Fox came to the show once, and he was having trouble with the IRS, and he owed all this money. So he kept trying to sell me things. And he would come to the set, and he would go. And then all of a sudden, he's super funny, right? After doing this real flat voice. And he goes, and then Red Fox would say, hey, Eddie, you like Elvis? I got Elvis's watch. How'd you like to buy Elvis's watch? Elvis, give me this watch. So I said to him, hey, Red, how long have you had Elvis's watch? He said, I had it for 40 years. I go, that's not Elvis's watch. That's Red Fox's watch. I ain't buying Red Fox's fucking watch. So he's like super funny. And then he go back again to being zen-like. So I said, so as I'm talking to him, I'm leafing through this fucking awful fucking shit of a cold opening that they're having him do. And so it's like, white guys writing for black guys, what they think they'd say. It's just awfully, horribly racist. And so he says to me, he goes, I'll do it. If you tell me it's funny, I'll do it. And I go, it's not funny.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know what else to do.
So I was calling because I wanted to get your take on Eddie Murphy hosting the Oscars. I think you're like the funniest SNL guy ever, and I just wanted to know what you thought about Eddie hosting.
Well, I think Eddie is unbelievably funny. Like, I always loved Eddie, and I couldn't be happier that he's hosting the Oscars. Obviously, last year, the Oscars were the worst hosts ever, There's Anne Hathaway, and
James Franco.
James Franco,
yeah.
and I think they tied for worst ever.
I think they did, yeah.
But
he might have
Eddie,
been a little worse, just a little. Because at least she's nice
she
to look
was
at.
trying a little bit.
She was trying, yeah.
But Eddie, what I like is because Eddie's become a little like Zen-like and so forth. He's a very intelligent guy, and he's stepped back a little from the crazy Eddie of old and stuff. And I think this is going to burst him back to the incredibly funny Eddie Murphy. And I can't wait to see it, man. I would write for that. I would write if anybody's listening in the Eddie Murphy camp.
There's a big camp.
I will write for that show.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
'Cause I love Eddie Murphy.
I think it's going to be great. Yeah.
It's been so long since you've seen him be really funny, too.
And I was like
great.
amazed by Eddie Murphy when I saw him, because not when I saw him, but later on, because when you're a stand-up, it takes a long time to get funny. But he did it instantly. Like, he was the only guy I've ever seen.
Right.
When he was 19, he was funny.
Hilarious.
And he was he knew he was funny, and he was confident. And I've never seen anything like that from a young person.
Yeah.
Have you? Can you think of a single other person?
Well, that young, no.
In comedy?
Yeah.
No, I mean, he started doing stand-up when he was like 16 or something, right? So by the time he was on SNL, he'd already, done that. I guess.
Think of when you were 16 to 19, that stuff you thought was funny. You know what I mean?
Oh, God.
I don't think anybody would have thought it was funny.
No.
It's not funny to throw eggs at houses. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's kind of funny, but it's not get up on stage funny.
I know, exactly.
Yeah. And he was a man.
Yeah.
He was
19.
Oh, yeah.
A man. A star.
Oh, I know.
I talked to him one time, because I had a TV show, and the guy I did the TV show with, he goes, "Why don't you get your friends to be on the show?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, just pretend, I'm not Eddie Murphy's friend." Anyways, I never met him, and he's like, one day he's like, "Hey, we got Eddie on the phone," and they put Eddie Murphy on the phone with me, right?
Yeah.
So I'm talking to him, and then I'm trying to talk him into. I'm supposed to talk him into doing this thing on the show. And I read it, and it's all racist and everything. It's like what a bunch of white guys would think a black guy would say or something like that.
Oh, God.
So anyways, I was talking to Eddie, and he was very nice to me, and he said, listen, I said, I got this thing, I can send it to you. And he goes, you don't have to send it to me. He goes, if you think it's funny, I will do it.
Wow.
Wow.
That's a compliment.
And then I said, I don't think you should do it.
Really?
But that was good.
No,
bring
yeah.
myself
If he
to
had
do
that
it.
much confidence in you, and you had sent him something
You
bad,
don't want to let him down.
I
Right?
understand that.
Yeah.
You don't want to let him down.
But he's the greatest. I can't wait for the Oscars.
Eddie Murphy was going to do a skit on Bill Cosby on the 40th, and they didn't do it, right?
That's right. That's correct, yeah.
Was that a good decision?
By Eddie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a good decision. He was, Eddie is like no other comic I've ever met.
In what way?
He doesn't find it necessary to be funny when he's, but all of a sudden he can be explosively funny when you're talking to him. But he's sort of a Zen guy, you know, very calm, and maybe out of that, when he springs out of that into, you know, this incendiary, incredible force of comedy, it makes it even funnier.
On Saturday Night Live, on the 40th reunion show, 40th anniversary show, right? Eddie Murphy was supposed to play Bill Cosby. Is
Yes,
that right?
that's, well, we wanted him to play Bill Cosby, yes.
And he didn't want to. What was that about?
Well, he thought that all the facts were not in at that point. The documents had yet to be unsealed. And so being a big fan of due process, he decided it not proper to assume guilt. So I thought it was very admirable because it would have got a huge laugh, you know, him doing Bill Cosby, and I thought it was kind of cool that he went. He doesn't need laughter. He's kind of a Zen-like guy, you know.
Do you?
When you talk to him, he's very calm, and then all of a sudden he'll burst forth with the funniest thing you've ever heard, and then he returns to his equanimous state. It's very, very interesting to see.
How do you figure out how much to share about what goes on behind the scenes at SNL? Because I know that you were talking about Eddie not doing Bill Cosby on Howard Stern's show, and Seth Meyers wasn't crazy about that. He came out about the Ellen and said, I wouldn't have told that story.
Seth Meyers said that?
Yeah, he said, do we have the quote here? Just bring up the quote. He said, I wouldn't have told it. I feel the same way. I think when you're at SNL, you're seeing so many different things behind the scenes. There are often things to give away that are yours to give away. Norm played it in a way that is very Norm MacDonald. And he went on to praise you, but I don't know what that means. I mean, how do you choose what to reveal and what not to reveal, what to share and what not to share about an institution as powerful as SNL?
I always think, what would Seth Meyers do? It's ridiculous.
Take a break?
Yeah. Take a
Stay
break.
around? Oh,
No,
staying
we're
here.
not
Okay,
taking a
okay.
break.
I thought you were
No,
taking a break.
Did some of my eyes say we should take a break?
Yeah. You ever go on a talk show? You're talking to me, you're the
Yeah,
guest, I'm the talk show host, and then they're looking off at the camera going,
Oh, that's the worst. While you're talking?
yeah.
While you're telling
Is
your
that right? Is
anecdote.
that right? All right, we're gonna take a break.
We also have to take a break.
Are you kidding me?
It says it right on the monitor.
We have no
Really?
sponsors.
I thought we do have a sponsor, right?
You know what's amazing that I didn't
We
know?
have no sponsors.
I just got word they have to take a break.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's great. Well, let's take a break.
All right. Let's take a break.
Say it to the camera.
How do you take it?
Let's take a break.
And that's it. That does it?
All right, let's take a break. And,
yeah, you hold up another card, and I'm going to take the training wheels off your balls.
You are so old that it's not
Trash
right.
talk when we come back.
Okay, we'll take a break and then we'll do the joke off.
No, we're not doing the jerk off.
Joke?
No, it's a joke off.
No,
Yeah,
we're
wildly
not doing
different.
It. We're
yeah.
not doing it.
You don't think you can take them?
It's got nothing to do with it.
Good Christ, look at the time, man. We got to do jokes.
Oh, shit. All right,
Can we go to
we have to go to
now?
commercial, yeah.
Okay.
Afterwards, we're going to do jokes.
All right.
You want to read some jokes?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you don't even have to think of them. I just read them.
I like it.
Why are we talking about being gay so much?
You brought it
He's
up.
trying to clean it up. I have a question. I saw that you were kicked out of the Avian Porn Awards for being too offensive.
Yeah,
We're going to find out that story after we take a break.
Good. I have to pee. I have to go. And I'm gonna get more coffee. Do you guys want any?
I think that we should really talk about dirty work when we come back.
Oh,
I
okay.
want to talk a lot about dirty work when we come back, but they keep.
You got sponsors?
Yeah, we have
Okay.
sponsors.
Okay.
We're
the sponsors.
But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Then we'll get into dirty work.
Fair enough.
I got a lot of good stories.
So
Who's the
say
sponsors?
we'll be back or something.
Yeah, there's the camera's on you. All right, when we come back, dirty work.
So we will return to talk more about Fred Willard's grandson.
No. Let's concentrate on me.
Your asswipe producer just held up a sign, let's take a break. Where are we going? We're talking to 6 people. You know, we could get on a bus right now, the 3 of us, and yell out the window and reach more people.
We got to take a break time, but when we return, Todd Glass will read from his book.
No, I won't.
Stoned out of his fucking mind. We'll be back.
My favorite host, they all mean something different. Let me tell you something. I'll tell you what story about this hat. Do you go to commercials?
Yeah.
Oh, you have to go to commercial? I see some signs. You want to do it now?
We'll be back.
Ah, yeah. And we'll talk about my hat when I get back. We'll be back after we mop ourselves.
Fuck! And now the whole set went quiet, and you hear people, Santa just said fuck. Santa has just said fuck. And all these kids froze, and then they had a Disney guy, he said fuke. Fuke. It's a Swedish word. Means take a break.
We're supposed to take a break. And so he thought when you said take a break, then I would go, speaking of taking a break. Hey, you want to do some jokes, Rosanna? I have jokes.
Okay.
Well, we have to take a
No, we're not going to take a break.
Oh, okay.
Fuck the break.
No, we're going to just do jokes.
Sounds
Party.
good. Here's some Xanax.
Really? How many should I take?
Well, they get you very
One?
sleepy.
I better take only a half.
Oh, right now, just take a half.
Okay. I don't know why.
You should have married
Yeah. Who?
Sid Youngers.
I know, right?
We'll be back with Roseanne after the Xanax kicks in.
I always get anxious when I'm on a plane and I see a much bigger celebrity than me, and I think, well, if this goes down,
Is that
I'm gonna
almost
get mentioned.
every
I'm going to be
flight?
like small print almost every flight. Yeah.
All right. We'll be back in a second.
Know that in this day, nobody's gonna change. You won't ever leave. On my mind again, I'm still not tired of it. Can make you want me. And I might act okay, say things will stay the same. Say I'm all I
Are we going to commercial? Daniel says we're going to commercial.
we gotta take a break.
We'll be back with the ever funny Adam Egan.
You asked for some stories about Norm MacDonald and Bob Saget, and the odd part about it is that if I had known they would die as young as they did, I would have really taken notes. I mean, I remember one time, like every time I had lunch with Norm, I would let him pay. I wouldn't put in a dime. And then one time we went out to lunch, and he waited for me to put at least $1 in. And I said, come on. Why ruin the tradition? And so he put the money in again. And I remember one time doing Norm's podcast, and it was like the two of us were just going crazy and laughing, and it was like insane. And then afterwards we went to dinner, joined by Bob Saget and Jeffrey Ross. And that was like just nonstop laughing and joking. I mean, I think that dinner, if we had been secretly filmed, that would have been an award-winning comedy special. Yeah, so I still miss Norm and I still miss Bob. And, but I'm sure they're happy to have like fans like you who still remember them.
On the subject of SNL, and it's sweet when you took over for Norm, and Gilbert and I haven't said anything. Gilbert, I don't know, have you spoken publicly since Norm passed about him, Gil?
I don't know if
we haven't said anything on this show, which we would like to do now. You both knew him well, but the bartender speech when you took over, and obviously it was a very awkward period for you.
Oh God!
To be stepping into that role and also a friend's job.
Yes, yeah. It was like we lived in the same building too.
You know how you go to your favorite bar and your local bartender isn't there? You ask, where's Jeff? Jeff no longer works here, I'm Steve. And you're thinking, hey, who's this idiot? I like Jeff, but you still want your drink? And even though Steve doesn't mix your drink the same way you're used to, like Jeff, you still like the bar, you don't have to go to a different bar. And even Steve might feel kind of bad because Jeff trained him.
Did he ever say anything to you about that? Did he ever give you a blessing?
He was so he was so classy in not saying anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's all.
You have that great I'm Steve, what can I get you?
Yeah.
The bartender piece.
Well, I'm Steve. What can I get you?
But I wish it would have stayed the way it was. But, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, Norm is... he's so funny. He was so distinctively funny. You know?
Nobody like him, really.
No, he had his own thing. You know what I mean? He was just very, well, like Gilbert. I mean, they just have their own. They march to their own drummer, even in a business where everybody marches to their own drummer. They both have that, you know, idiosyncratic thing where it just be like, this is how I am, and that's it, and it's great. But you know, you have to tune to their frequency. You know, it's not like you can just, you know.
You know what's funny about that first update you did? Here's Norm being fired, as we all know, by Don Ohlmeyer,
right?
Because of cutting too close to the bone with the OJ jokes. When in fact he was doing a public service by telling those OJ jokes. And I'm watching you do your first update. There's an OJ joke. It's like the third joke.
Yeah.
In the February issue of Esquire magazine, O.J. Simpson said that if I had killed Nicole, it would have been because I loved her very much. And then he said, and if I had killed Ron Goldman, it would have been because he accidentally witnessed me loving Nicole very much. Somebody should buy this guy a John Gray book, all right?
You shook his hand once? O.J.? Getting out of a car?
Well,
he was getting out of a limo?
He was getting out of a limo middle of the afternoon, and I have no psychic energy. I've never had those kinds of things, you know. But for whatever reason, this was in an afternoon. He's getting out of a limo with a girl. It's spring break. It's packed with people. It's Florida. And they're like, hey, do you want to meet OJ? I go, yeah, OJ, he's greatest running back of all time. You know, great, charming movie star. I shake his hand. He shakes my hand. And he's not even looking at me. He's looking past me. And he shakes my hand. And I felt like a jolt of, like, evil. I swear to God.
It's like the Dead Zone.
That's what it was like. That's what it was like. And I was like, I go, that was weird, OJ. I love OJ. Well, that was weird energy, you know.
Wow. So you picked up on something.
I feel like I did, you know. It's, of course, in retrospect. But I remember telling people at the time, so.
I was also fond of, going back to your SNL bits, Colin Quinn Explains the New York Times.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And the St. Pat's editorial and Joe Blow. You look like you were having fun, and the best stuff is you and Norm together.
That's right. That's right.
There's obviously an affection that comes across on the screen.
Yes, yeah. And that was the early days of it. It was great.
I'm sorry we never managed to get him here. We tried, and for whatever reason, he was as elusive as you.
He's more elusive. He's like,
he was.
I love to do it. I'd love to. You're like, oh, good. How about next week? Yes. What day? And you're like, okay. He's like, all right, call him and we'll set it up. Next week is perfect because I'm doing this. And you're like, hey, how's he doing? Years later, what happened? What? I thought I was going to come on your show. What happened? It's like, oh, Jesus, Norm.
Well, like you say, march to his own drum.
Yeah.
Straight to the heart. I went a long time acting like I was broken apart by you.
Oh, I remember meeting OJ at a party years ago, and it turns out he was a fan.
Uh-oh.
And he did an imitation of me, and to this day, I wish I had like that on film.
Of
Because it would be like Charles Manson doing an imitation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of entertaining celebrities, but Norm MacDonald used to come on our show in the early days, and those were, I thought, great television because we never knew it was happening, and it was always teetering on the edge of it was all about to blow up. It's all about to fail, and it would always end brilliantly. And then he stopped coming around, and it was just a period that passed. And I was always sad about that because I thought, we're a very celebrity-conscious age, and people always think that the best guests are the biggest celebrities. Sometimes, the best guests are these people that you have a weird connection with, and it's compelling television. People see and they talk to me about it later on. Like I'll be out in the world walking around, and people will say, "I saw that when you were with Harlan, or when you were with Norm, or with Ron. That really got wild and crazy in a way that they don't see on television now."
Have you, over the years, who are some of the people who have been your go-to people? That I just remember Dave in his early years had Terry Garr and he had Sandra Bernhard. Yes. And they were kind of magic together. Who are your...
I had so many people. Norm MacDonald was this person who would come... you all know Norm MacDonald, but Norm MacDonald, when we'd have him on in the early days, to this day, I've never interviewed anybody like Norm MacDonald.
Who was the best guest that you've ever interviewed, and who was the worst?
I love Will Ferrell. I also love Norm MacDonald because he comes on and his stories are all invented. None of them are real. They're all old farmers' daughters jokes. And he pretends he'll come on. I'll say, "What's up, Norm?" He'd be like, the other day I was walking down the road and a pirate comes up to, I'm like, "What?" Yeah, a pirate comes along, and he's got 3 pigs with him. One of them is wearing a hat, one's got a pipe, and then it's just a complete waste of everybody's time that's absolutely delightful and hilarious. And so I love him.
Your favorite guests are always like the Bill Burr, Norm MacDonald. This might go off the rails really fast.
I mean, Norm MacDonald, one of the great talk show guests of all time. He invented something that Norm MacDonald invented this amazing thing that I've never seen anybody do before or since. It's kind of like he split the atom. It was that revolutionary. Norm would come on and he would, instead of telling you a real story, like if I had you on the show and you're like, "Hey, Bill, tell me, well, and remember I was living in Chestnut Hill once," and you would tell a real story about what happened to you in your life. Norm tells old jokes as stories that happened to him.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, "Norm, what are you up to?" And I mean really old jokes from like the 1920s. And he'd be like, "Well, Conan, I don't know if you're aware that I purchased a farm, Conan." I'd be like, "Really? You purchased a..." Yeah, I purchased a farm. Of course, I have 3 daughters." And I'm like, "You have 3 daughters?" "Yeah, I have 3 daughters on the farm. One very attractive, one not as attractive, and of course the third not, kind of, well, she's ugly, Conan. She's ugly." And I'd be like, "Well, one day this traveling salesman comes to the farm, and he says, now, Norm, I tell you," and then it's like he's telling an old traveling salesman joke.
Yeah. But about halfway through where it's going.
I mean, I usually know. I know kind of what he's doing. I'm laughing that he has the balls to do this. I'm laughing at the audacity. So I don't even care if this joke lands or not. I'm laughing that he's committing to the fact that
no, he doesn't have a farm. He doesn't have 3 daughters. There's no traveling salesman. But he doesn't care in a way that is exhilarating and scary at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
plus, he probably has some people in the audience who are taking completely seriously, right?
Yes. Yeah. He's got some people thinking.
We call them tourists.
Yes, we call them. They're usually from San Bernardino.
Well, Norm had the greatest talk show moment in the history of talk shows with Courtney Thorne Smith.
That was epic. That was so great. And it's funny because
it's lived on. Who knew that we were going to have YouTube eventually?
You know
where
what?
We could just cue it up on command.
God bless YouTube. I had no idea when those things were happening. I thought, we're talking 1993, 94. When those things were happening, I thought, what did I know? I just thought if you were up and you saw it, that means you saw You saw an amazing thing happen. And if you, and then maybe if I get to stay on the air long enough, we'll have a 1-year anniversary show, and maybe you'll see it then. But if you're not there for that, it's gone. And now I meet people, that around the world that will say, "Oh, I just saw that thing with you and Norm and Courtney Thorne Smith." And I'll think, that was a moment of my life when I was 30.
Yeah.
And I'm like 85 now. Like, how is that possible?
You say there's no way we could go back, and that I've broken what we had. I wish that you would come around.
You are making a movie with Carrot Top, right?
I made a movie with Carrot Top.
Okay.
Wait a minute, she left Melrose Place to do a movie with Carrot Top?
That's where I'm going, my friend. What's the movie going to be called? Really?
I know what it's going to be called.
Yeah, what's that?
If it's got Carrot Top in it, you know what a good name for it would be?
What's that, Norm?
Box Office Poison.
Smith, the girl sitting to your left, is in the movie.
I'm going to go see it for
Well, there's this 2-hour season finale of Melrose Place. There's this movie coming out.
Yes.
Title undetermined at this point.
Chairman of the board.
Oh, all right. Do something with that, you freak.
I bet the board is spelled B-O-R-E-D.
My other friend was mentally retarded. Now, I know you're not supposed to say that anymore, but that's what we said then, and I understand that term. It means that you're arrested. Your mental capacity has been retarded or arrested. So, anyways, I'll say Down syndrome. I don't care. I didn't say it for a long time on account of I thought people would think I was a doctor, and I'd have to hit their knee with a hammer or something. I don't know. But anyways, I love, my best friend had Down syndrome, I love people with Down syndrome. I wish I had Down syndrome. And I'll tell you why, because they're happy. You know what I mean? They're happy. What's wrong with that? Man, I wish I was happy, I was happy when I was with my friend. I'll tell you that. I would love to have a friend right now. Because how often are you happy? You ever be happy? It happens once in a while, With me, it's usually when I wake up. I wake up, I go, goddamn. I'm glad I bought that Tempur-Pedic pillar. That was the best purchase I ever made. But then the light comes under the door and bathes over you, and then your life comes in and gets all over you like a cobweb. You're like, God damn, huh? That's not fun. But you ever go into the mirror and look at yourself? I'm not talking about physically, but just eye to eye. And then you go, oh, good God, what's become of me? I'm going to go back to bed and cover myself up. That's when I would like to have a mentally retarded friend next to me, a guy with Down syndrome, to go, I like bananas. I go, God damn, I never looked at it that way. I like bananas too. You go, they're yellow. I go, God damn, you're right, they are yellow.
What say you and me go buy a yellow banana? See, people get mad at me, and yet, you know, they pity them. I envy people with Down syndrome, you know? And they pity them. Now, who's the bad person in that scenario? I tell you right now, man, if there was some sort of injection where I could be Down syndrome, I'd take it because I'd love to be happy all the time, you know? And some people go, oh, they're mentally retarded people aren't always happy. I go, well, I never seen, you know, like you ever see a cynical Down syndrome guy, you know? You ever see a guy go, fuck bananas, they're yellow, I don't care. Who cares? I never seen it. But happiness, the thing we strive the most, people pity these people that have it, you know? But they'll look over a group of people with Down syndrome and go, oh, man, look. Breaks my heart when I see them. You know why? They're happy, right? It's on account of they don't understand life's horrors. Makes me sad. Makes me shake my head, sadly, like this year. And you know the saddest part of all? There's no cure. They'll probably die happy.
If there was one thing that you would change about Adam Egget, what would it be?
Oh, where do I start?
This guy says your face looks like a cunt.
I can't even change that. It's not the first time I've heard that. But, I mean...
You know what I don't like is when they make those dirty drinks.
Dirty Sanchez?
Dirty Sanchez. That's what you drink.
What dirty drinks?
No, they say like
pink pussy, like the pink pussy.
You don't have to be dirty, but the guy doesn't realize there's a TV camera aimed at him.
This is like your little brother.
God damn, man.
You have such control.
And this morning, Adam Egget. Oh, is that your name? Fucking change it.
The latest
Adam Egget telling a joke.
The latest Archie comic shows gay character Kevin kissing his boyfriend Devin. Another barrier will be broken next month when, in a dream sequence, Jughead will be show fisting Betty Crocker.
God damn, you're illiterate.
It's a show fit. No. Oh, you're right.
Will be shown. Will be shown.
They forgot to write the end there. Why is it so different to find pornography about people in stable monogamous relationships?
Why is it so what?
Different.
Different? Difficult. Damn.
Start all over, and the joke still works.
Oh my God.
Michelle Obama has booked a cameo on the ABC show Nashville.
Start again. Start again.
Right.
Kids today, I mean.
You can't spell ABC.
Wow. Michelle Obama has booked a cameo on the ABC show Nashville. With this and her appearance on iCarly, I think Michelle is ready to start appearing in films. May I suggest my favorite film series, Black Ass Fuckers? It's actually...
Adam Egget told me something I didn't know. He said you worked with Red Fox on a variety.
Yeah, I heard that. I'm dying to hear it.
I produced Red Fox Variety.
You told me he just worked on it.
Worked on it?
Well, that's, I mean, according to your
What do you
Wikipedia
think I was,
page.
a stagehand, you douchebag? Worked on it. Did you do your notes?
Today.
Lose the douchebag.
He's talking about me.
Well, we don't know if he's talking about you.
He's clearly talking about me.
He is talking about you. What's the deal with that fucking douchebag? Plus some douchebag, I don't know who he was, but I'd like to punch him right in the fucking face. Adam had a question he wanted to ask you about your comedy.
Yeah, I've been chomping at the bits to ask this one. I've been thinking about it all week. Norm told me to come up with some questions for you, and I've just been dying to know, where do you get your ideas from? Well, I mean...
Efron walked off the show.
Yeah.
Right, and so did Sinead O'Connor, I think, right?
I was there for that one, too.
You were there for Sinead O'Connor?
Yeah.
It was Nora Dunn, by the way.
Oh, no, I meant when Dice did it, Sinead... Yeah,
Was that the same
No,
show?
that wasn't the same show.
No, she said she didn't want to do it because Dice was performing, so they had to get a different musical guest.
This guy, they hired this guy to ruin all the interviews? No, so how about this?
Sometimes I'm beginning to worry about my short-term memory loss.
That was the... Oh.
Sometimes I'm beginning to worry about my short-term memory loss. Sometimes I'm beginning to worry about my short-term memory loss. That was it.
I thought he was talking about his first Twitter name. I was like, that's a really long Twitter name.
Real Ed McMahon over here, huh?
Ed McBoy.
What was your joke?
You had one joke?
No, it was so ridiculous. It was stupid.
What was it?
Oh God, man! It was something like, "Don't take a shot from a girl at a bar because it looks ridiculous. It's never good." I think the punchline was, "Is this a Care Bear cum shot or something?" It was really ridiculous. I don't remember it. It was so long ago, but that was the gist of it, and that's why I don't do stand-up anymore.
He can't even tell his own joke.
I mean, I'm not a good, you know.
Anything.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, it's like... Earlier this week, Aaron Jackson of Topeka, Kansas, painted his house the colors of the Gay Pride rainbow flag in direct protest of the Westboro Baptist Church. When that didn't seem to work, Jackson fucked 3 of his best buds on his front lawn.
Homophobic.
Yeah. Well, I think it shows
earlier he
solidarity.
was racist, and now he's homophobic.
Well, I think of this. Former Tennessee Titans cheerleader Elizabeth Lee Garner, 42, is accused of pulling a 12-year-old boy's pants off and offering him oral sex. The boy refused her advances not because he was 12, but because he was a die-hard Colts fan.
This is what I have to work with, you know?
Chipotle has canceled its planned sponsorship of the Utah Boy Scout event due to the BSA's ban on gay leaders and scouts. Ironic how an all-male anti-gay organization would want to put hot, thick loads of beef and sour cream in their mouth.
Okay. We get the idea. You hate gay guys. We first met, I met you underneath the Queensboro Bridge. You at the time were jerking off punks for $15 a man.
My whole family's watching, man. My grandmother.
Your family doesn't know that when you were a young man, you used to jerk off punks for $15 a man?
What's the joke?
Holocaust denier.
Awesome.
I'm not going to hold that against you.
He doesn't believe in the whatever.
What?
I never got to go to
He
camp.
doesn't believe in the Holocaust.
I never went to camp when I was a kid. Is that a good change of subject?
He doesn't believe that the Holocaust happened.
Do you not believe that?
I had a bar mitzvah again.
No, then he says
Why
he
would
has
you
a
have a bar
bar
mitzvah if you didn't believe the Holocaust happened?
Jesus, every time.
Was
This is the
Passover-
closest I've seen to him admitting to the Holocaust, where he said, I think people have died. He's like, 6,600,000? What's the difference? I'm like,
Well, there's a lot of difference.
There's a
Adam.
huge difference. There's something beautiful about this one.
I'm so
not
glad.
joking. I'm not being ironic.
No, I really loved it too. It was great.
Oh, that's great.
So
Too bad this guy was here.
Yeah.
New medical research shows that men and women have different food cravings. Men preferring meat and women preferring sweets. Scientists trace this back to caveman days, when men had to go out and hunt for food while women sat on their fat asses eating chocolates. Last week, Duchess of York Sarah Ferguson visited the Big Apple and showed off her 14-pound weight loss. Hopefully this will not interfere with her official duties of sitting on her fat ass all day long. In what is considered a remarkably short period of time, the head of the Federal Advisory Board, Dr. Peter Mellman, has given speedy approval to a controversial new anti-obesity drug. It should be noted, however, Dr. Mellman's wife is a fat pig. This week in Minneapolis, the Minnesota Obesity Center officially opened. Its goals? To find ways to identify behaviors that lead to obesity. Also, it's a good place to meet fat chicks. John Goodman has announced that he will not be returning to Roseanne next year. So how will the show get rid of him on screen? Well, insiders now say that over the last few episodes of the season, Roseanne will gradually eat him. According to a controversial new biography, Elizabeth Taylor likes her lovemaking loud, rough, and frequent. Coincidentally, that's also how she likes to eat. Well, television history will be made this week when film legend Elizabeth Taylor appears as herself on all 4 CBS Monday night sitcoms. It's part of the network's new campaign, Must Eat TV. She enjoys eating. The New York Post has reported that Michael Jackson wants his closest friend in the world, Elizabeth Taylor, to be the godmother of his child. However, those close to the pair worry that this could eventually lead to heated arguments over whether the child will be molested or eaten. Yeah, Ricky Lake, you know, she really is an animal lover, though. She has 3 cats, 2 dogs, and a big ass that follows her around everywhere. Former Wilson Phillips member Carney Wilson's new talk show kicked off this month. According to Carney, her show will be different from the others in that guests will be treated with respect and dignity. And then she will eat them. Talk show host Ricky Lake has announced that she will finally publicly apologize for her role in a destructive anti-fur demonstration. Then she will eat a huge can of frosting. In the new movie Mrs. Winterbourne, talk show host Ricky Lake plays the part of a young mother-to-be. According to film's producers, Miss Lake was so serious about achieving a realistic pregnant look, she forced herself to lose 30 pounds. This week, renowned heart surgeon Michael DeBakey attacked the hypocrisy of Hollywood stars who oppose the use of animals in medical research and yet wear ribbons supporting the war on deadly diseases like AIDS. In response, animal activist Ricky Lake said, quote, "But the red ribbon diverts attention from my gigantic ass." A sad story from the world of entertainment this week. Talk show host Ricky Lake had to get rid of her dog Dudley after the pooch became too aggressive with her 7-month-old son Milo. A clearly saddened Lake said, "It broke my heart to get rid of that dog, but he was delicious." She ate a whole dog. In Virginia, police are looking for a stripper who stabbed a man for telling her she was too fat to strip. Police warn that the woman is armed and extremely fat. Rosie O'Donnell show premiered today, and I was in its tapes at the same floor as Saturday Night Live on 8H. They had flowers sent. There was the whole, it's unbelievable. You know, people must love her. There's flowers all along the entire 8H. Right. All flowers. They're sent by, like, there was one from Madonna, one from Elizabeth Taylor, Regis and Kathy Lee. I've never seen so many flowers. I didn't even realize you could eat flowers.
You say there's no way we could go back, and that I've broken what we had. Oh, I wish that you would come around. No.
I don't understand something.
Right.
You went to a doctor, you said, hey, what's with me? I'm around Elle Macpherson and I'm not getting aroused.
No, I didn't mention her.
Yeah, but and you start to get concerned that, hey, why am I not getting aroused around these beautiful women?
Yeah, because I used to always get aroused all the time, no matter what. Like, I could see a giant fat woman, like, part of her ass.
Right, and you get excited by that.
Yeah.
Are you on medication of any kind?
No. I just, now I'm just...
Do you need that testosterone patch or something?
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, it makes you more masculine. You know what I mean?
But then your hair falls out.
Yeah, you got to be careful about that.
So, Norm, what do you think about?
What?
When you're masturbating?
What do you think about?
Well, you know, like...
Fat woman's ass? No. Like, who do you think? Did you ever think about Elle Macpherson?
No.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Who do you think about?
I don't think
girls
about...
you just met.
I'll tell you something. I can't think about, like, girls that I don't think I could have sex with, because I don't have that good an imagination.
Right, it's got to be someone you think you can get.
Right.
That's how I am. Right. So
I sometimes I think of, like, kind of unattractive girls where I'm...
right, when you're doing stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too, though.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like one of the interns here or something I'll think about, because I think that, like, I could definitely get it. You ever think about Rosie O'Donnell when you're doing it?
Good Lord.
No way, right?
Name some names.
Yeah, name some names of who you think about.
You know what Rosie O'Donnell would be good at giving?
What?
Really wide head.
Oh, that's funny. Does Rosie O'Donnell have the biggest head on the planet?
Yeah,
she really does. How much does her head weigh? Do you take a guess?
About her head weight?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that age-old argument, I'm not going to get into.
You're not even going to get into it.
Yeah.
I see. And she's on the new $100 bill. Did you see her picture? It's pretty wild.
Gentleman with his hand raised in the back. Yes, excuse me. Hi, Kevin. Could I borrow your notebook? I didn't bring. Thank you. Dave from Basketball Digest. Kevin, KD, why do people call you KD? Can I call you KD? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
My first name is Kevin.
Right.
And my second name, my last name. My second name. My last name is Durant with a D.
KD. This year, what percentage do you plan on giving on the court? 90, 95, 100, 110? What are we looking at?
110.
110. 110. I just got off the phone with the Dolan family, and they said that they're talking to the commissioner now. They're looking at working a contractual deal that will allow you, when you're not playing for the Nets, days off, you'll be able to play for the Knicks. Comments?
All right, Dave, that was the last one.
I'm sorry, was that a comment?
That was it.
How about you? Do you have a comment? Wrap it up. Okay. I'm being told my time is done. Have a great year. What about the Pelicans? When you guys play the Pelicans, does it kind of make you giggle?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's all I got. That's it, everybody. Thank you. Good night. Okay.
Good job, Dave.
I have to go make some calls now. Tough act to follow. We'll go to Brian Mahoney, Associated Press.
You let anybody in here.
Hey, I heard that.
Is this a really good question, Norm? Who's a familiar face for
it's a question from Blake's good friend, Norm. No, Blake, it's fun watching you this year. Wasn't it cool?
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I was wondering, like, there's a kind of a curse with Rookie of the Year. Nobody's ever repeated it.
I didn't think about that. Well, I'll try as hard as I can next year, but
All right, man.
I don't know. Thank you for that question, though. That's going on top of the goals for next year.
In order to understand the world of sports, I decided to see what it would be like to be a professional athlete. So I hired the best makeup artist in town to help me go undercover as an NBA player. Take a look.
Hey, Alexi. So you're the guy that made Tyra look like a fat lady, right?
Sure am.
Excellent. Okay, well, make me look like that guy.
You got it.
Yeah. You work the face, I'll work the body. Oh. Oh. That's not Blake Griffin-y enough. Come on, man. More Blake Griffin-y. Now I'm going to find out what it's like to be Blake Griffin. First, I'm going to fool his teammates. Stupid door. I'm Blake Griffin, and you are?
Your good friend and teammate, DeAndre Jordan.
Oh, my good friend DeAndre Jordan, of course. So what time's rehearsal?
You mean practice, right?
Yeah, practice.
What's up with your voice?
What's up with your voice? Ah! I'm open, I'm open! Ow! Ah! Not so hard, man.
All right.
Hit me. Sky hook.
Are you all right? Blake, we haven't started.
I gotta quit smoking.
Smoking? What's up with you today, man?
Still got my defense.
Blake, that's a foul. You can't slap me.
Says who?
Ah.
I got an idea. This always works.
Just jump up there and get it.
No. Yeah. Whoo. Ah. Oh. Jeez. I don't know what's going on here. My heart is beating so fast.
Are you all right?
I think I pulled part of my leg that's underneath the top part. Ah, sweet Gordie Howe. Oh, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Sorry I'm late. Somebody burned my house down.
Oh no. I gotta start working out. Stupid door. Scientists in Africa have discovered the oldest known human ancestor, born 4.4 million years ago. Although unearthed only days ago, he is already engaged to Anna Nicole Smith. Texas millionaire J. Howard Marshall may have died 2 months ago, but as we see here, he and wife Anna Nicole Smith can still enjoy a romantic evening at home. Former Playboy centerfold and Guess jeans model Anna Nicole Smith collapsed this week after she suddenly realized that she actually had sex with this guy. And finally, in entertainment news, ex-Playboy centerfold Anna Nicole Smith has filed for bankruptcy. And saddest of all, she slept with this guy for nothing.
I forgot. I found something about that sort of topical because it was just Halloween and my pumpkin is sitting out on the stoop.
Yes.
A week after Halloween, you know.
So it's
all
still
shriveled
applicable.
and wrinkled. And today, Anna Nicole Smith dated it. So. But Anna Nicole Smith, she's a great gal.
Yes.
But she does like the older fellas.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, Anna, where there's a will, there's a wake. I don't know. This seems now that one seems tasteless.
Who do you think is attractive?
I like Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh, stop
come on.
it. You're full.
You don't like her?
Come on.
You don't like Anna Nicole Smith?
Come on, she's gotten heavy. He's putting me on.
No, I'm not.
I
I saw a picture of her recently where she was really, really fat, where she didn't look good.
Right, but you're talking about years ago when she was thin. Oh, okay.
Not that long ago. Yeah, a couple of years ago.
So you like big breasts?
Yeah, I like big breasts.
Does your wife have big breasts?
She has normal size breasts.
What, C cups?
I don't know. I hear you talking about those. I don't follow those.
You're in bad shape. Do you like Sally Struthers too?
Oh, I did.
You did, right? Yeah, that's your type.
Oh my God,
blonde
I
and
love
buxom.
Sally Struthers.
Not anymore though.
What?
Well, you don't like her anymore.
No, I don't like her with the flies around her.
It's kind of a turn off.
And on the American side, writer, critic, and broadcaster Joe Queenan, and from Saturday Night Live, Mr. Norm MacDonald is with us. So let's get on with the headlines here. We've met everybody. Lowry, let me bring this up to you. Definitely the biggest piece of news in the world this week is this headline right here. Take a look.
Yes,
She's Madonna now. It's about Madonna having a baby, which to me, with all the sex she's had, law of averages, I would think. So why do people care about
this?
this?
The amazing thing, of course, is that she actually had the baby herself. Surely a woman with that degree of wealth would pay somebody else to look fat for 9 months. I mean, she's had to hide away, hasn't she, for her entire pregnancy, because, you know, most women, their ankles swell a little. This woman's neck swelled. I mean, you know, she looked horrendous. According to there's been much talk, obviously, about the naming of the baby, Lourdes, and the Vatican are not terribly happy about that.
Did the Vatican actually have a response? Did the Pope come out and go, she did what?
I think she should be congratulated on. Madonna should be congratulated on choosing this name, because here's a woman who's spent her entire life, basically, throwing open the door to her boudoir to any sexual pilgrim who happens to be passing. And so she calls her daughter.
You know what? For all the talk of that, I don't know one guy who's done her. You know? For all the talk of, oh, Madonna has everybody, me and my friends are sitting around going, hey.
But the sad fact is...
Where's our turn at the deli counter?
The sad fact is the one guy who has done her, as he so sublimely put it, he's been told that she's not interested in him anymore. So this guy has got to live with the fact that he's given birth to perhaps the most famous baby in the current times, in the past few years.
Our savior.
Well, precisely. Everybody knows that.
That's what happens to every man after his wife has a baby. This is no exception.
I think we've taken a turn for the bitter.
Well, I think most women, after they've had babies, are less interested in their husbands for a while because they're tired, you know, they're worn out.
Well, plus they've had like a 6-pound thing go through the birth canal.
All right, well, let's move on, shall we? Before this really degrades. Joe, this seems to make perfect sense. Here's the next headline. Handguns outlawed. Now, this is in Britain. They've outlawed handguns. Why can't we ban guns in this country? What's our problem?
Guns are part of folklore, you know.
Folklore?
Yeah, I mean, people have always thought, you know, the founding of the West and everything, and all the lunatics in America really believe that if you have a gun, you can defend yourself against the government if the government comes. So I don't think...
But hoop skirts are a part of folklore, and we don't wear those anymore.
You make a good point.
Norm, would you ban guns if you...
No, not in a million years. I got a gun. I own a gun.
All right.
That's a bit worrying, don't you think?
Well, guns, you got to have guns on account of, what if another character has a gun, you don't have a gun?
Now, that's an interesting point.
Guns really are horrible, and they should be banned in all countries. You shouldn't have one.
Oh, I would love it if I was the only guy to have one, to tell you the truth.
Looks like Norm would be getting a lot of free lunches with that one.
You see, it's called the right to bear arms, isn't it? Isn't that supposedly
we have a constitutional
preset of the right to bear arms? But actually, it's the right to kill people. I mean, it's so simple. That's what a gun does.
I think you're just bitter because our right that we had got us our country. I mean, let's face facts. If we didn't have guns 220 years ago, you guys would still be taxing the tea. But we had a couple of, you know, we had a couple of rifles. We marched down. You guys wanted to walk in single file. I don't know why you did that, but you did. And
if we hadn't taught you how to use the guns in the first place, then you wouldn't have been able to.
Oh yeah, like Geronimo didn't teach us how to shoot straighter than Lord Cornwallis. All right. Felix, we got some more headlines going here. Have you had one of these in England? Million Man March in England. Are there a million black guys in England to have a march? Or do they have like 100,000?
I think actually there's about 5 of us.
Oh my God.
Things are pretty depleted right now, what with me being over here. The way it was perceived, certainly by the majority of people in Britain, was actually a little bit distorted, because I think there was this notion that it was some kind of anti-Semitic initiative, and that Farrakhan is viewed in that way. Now, I don't know enough about what he's been saying recently.
No, I think he loves Jews. I've seen him.
Well, yeah,
in fact, the other day he had a bagel with a schmear. The guy loves the Jews.
Now, I think it's stupid for minority groups, Jews and blacks, to like not get on, because hey, we all know about persecution.
I stayed indoors that day. You know, I just try to stay out of the way when these seminal events occur that can't do me any good. See, I'm Irish-American, and the great thing about being Irish is that you can claim to be a minority, but you still control the police department. So you don't have to worry about anything.
Let's go. Finally, Norm, this looks like the election has finally got exciting as Bob Dole got dirty. Gloves are off. What took Bob Dole so long to get nasty in the campaign?
It took him a long time to get his gloves off because of his one arm that doesn't work. So it was like, oh, can you help me with my glove? It's coming off there. Very well.
I feel shame and yet delight.
That man lost that arm at the Battle of Anzio fighting the Nazis, and you make fun of him like that.
No, I love Dole. I'll vote for Dole. He's the best man, you know.
Norm, I hate to say this, and I know this to bring this up, but I don't think Canadians can vote in our elections. We appreciate your support and your enthusiasm.
I'll tell you, I can't vote in the election, but I can pay the huge taxes to Clinton.
Yeah, it's a beautiful country. All right. Do you believe Dole has gotten nasty too late? Have you seen Dole get nasty?
This man is not capable of getting nasty. From the perspective of all the way across the Atlantic, you know, he just appears to be this doddery old guy who falls off the edge of stages occasionally. And that is largely what we're seeing.
Well, you see, Dole has got a bad image problem in Britain, really, because Dole means unemployment benefit in Britain.
Yes.
So it's like, hey, I'm going to really sort the economy out. My name's Mr. Unemployment Benefit. You know? Doesn't compute.
I think Dole didn't go on the attack as much as he could have, because there's scandal after scandal after scandal with this Clinton character, you know. Yeah. And I was reading one this morning. They said Clinton, apparently back when he was governor of Arkansas, you know, back then, he got real drunk one night and apparently had sex with Hillary.
Well, let's see what all this negative stuff is about. They say Dole has gone negative, and in Britain, apparently, a picture of Tony Blair with red eyes caused a major controversy. But in America, viewers have been exposed to $450 million worth of political ads, 90% of which are negative. So are we just mean people? You know, why are we being shown these things? Let's take a look at some.
Dole voted to raise payroll taxes, Social Security taxes, the 90 income tax increase, $900 billion in higher taxes. And look closely at his risky tax scheme. He'd actually raised taxes on 9 million working families. Bob Dole, 35 years in Washington, 35 years of higher taxes.
We send them off to school, and we worry. Teenage drug use has doubled since 1992. And Bill Clinton, he cut the White House drug office 83%. His own Surgeon General even considered legalizing drugs. And in front of our children on MTV, the president himself.
If you had it to do over again, would you inhale? Sure, if I could. I tried before.
Bill Clinton, he just doesn't get it. But we do.
They say American people hate negative advertising, but yet it's shown to work. So what's the...
I can't believe people think that that's particularly negative.
That's not negative.
When Andrew Jackson was president in the 1830s, they said that he was a bigamist. They said that he murdered a minister. That he went to his deathbed convinced that the critics had killed his wife because of these accusations. We don't have anything like this. Grover Cleveland was accused of having an illegitimate child, which he had. Warren Harding was accused of having a mistress. You know, there were all kinds of accusations, which he had. But there were all kinds of horrible accusations about guys, and then they've got this kind of stuff, which is where, you know, Bill Clinton once said that he almost inhaled marijuana. I mean, I don't. This whole story.
You think we've actually gotten kinder, that we're not nearly as negative as we used to be?
I just think these commercials just suck. And that's the issue, is that the commercials just suck.
So would you like to see what, like singing raisins for the government commercials? What do you need?
I'd like to see really nasty. I'd like to see ads where they said, Clinton, you know, this is the motel, this is the desk clerk. He paid $27.95. Here's the receipt. Here are the sheets. You know, that'd be negative. You know.
Do they do negative now? This. What was it, Tony Blair? What was it?
Yeah. These were ridiculous. All they did is they sort of cut out, he got a picture of him, cut out his eyes, and then put somebody else's eyes, they're coloured red, upside down. I mean, you know, it was a joke. What I would like to see is a bit more...
But there was an outcry, am I right? There was an outcry against negative advertising. So will negative advertising never come Britain's way?
Well, we already have negative advertising, but obviously it is more muted. But simply that's because there isn't the money in Britain to engage in the vast amounts of advertising that you have here. But we also happen to have much better advertising for other products. Our ads are far better than yours. I mean,
our products are far better than yours.
No.
You know, like we've got cars.
It's got a point. What would you rather have? A song about a car or a car? You know? I think we've really been able to foster some understanding here. I expect to fire on Yorktown any minute now.
I think
you're whinging again.
The thing that's happening that we are sort of catching from America, which is rather worrying, is that we're starting to do these fake documentary type ads for politicians, and they're all very, the violins are playing, and that, I think, is about the worst kind of political advertising, because you basically you want to throw up as soon as you see it.
What would you rather see for your party political broadcast? Would you rather see a guy come on and go, we don't know what we're doing?
I like that ad where they go, hey, check out this guy's eyes. Look at them.
Yeah, but you see, I think, see, if you're in an environment, which is the case in Britain, where political analysis or acute questioning of politicians takes place a lot by journalists, where, for example, even the Prime Minister can go into a television studio and be really grilled seriously about what he's done. And it's sometimes to the point where it happened a couple of weeks ago, a politician was so badly grilled by a journalist that he rang up the BBC saying, what the bloody hell is going on? How dare they speak to me in this way? If you've got that kind of rigorous political examination of what's going on, the advertisements become irrelevant.
We don't have intelligent journalists like that. We have people named Cokie. You know, we have, like, the President of the United States comes in and gets interviewed by somebody named Cokie. And Cokie asks really hard questions. Then, you know, no politician in America would submit to intense grilling because we don't have any journalists who do that. We have,
you don't think Sam Donaldson is a relatively intense journalist as far as politicians are concerned?
Not by English standards, no. Those guys are really tough. Everybody over here is a cream puff compared to them.
Right.
They are.
While Americans are pessimistic about politicians improving their lives, they're very optimistic about books, audio tapes, and videos improving their lives. Yes, the self-help movement is alive and well, with many Americans believing, I could do anything if I only knew what it was. We asked Lori Pike to go and talk to some losers who buy this kind of thing.
How do you create an extraordinary quality of life today?
All right, let's see what we got here. Handbook of coping, that'll be useful. Panic no more. Nasty people, how to stop being hurt by them without becoming one of them. I'll try. Don't blame mother. Listen up, girlfriend. Lessons on life from the Queen of Advice. I am right, you are wrong. Definitely take that one. The Anger Workbook. I'll start with lesson 1. With all these books, are we really coping with our problems, though, or are we just thinking up new ones?
Well, I have a collection at home myself, and that seems to be the only kind of reading I do these days. My feeling is so strongly that while you have oxygen in you, that the whole point of being on planet Earth, why we all really burn to get here and to incarnate into these families that are so troublesome, is to work things out.
I bought the book because I feel like there's something in my life that has been holding me back success-wise in my career. I'm an actor, and it's helped me a lot, actually. I just finished shooting a film, and I just booked a commercial just now.
People collectively again are saying, you know what, I am entitled to a healthier, more fulfilling life. I am entitled to love. I want to have a career. I mean, look at this section here on ethical business and right livelihood. I am entitled to love my work. I am entitled to have friends that I adore.
Did you think and grow rich after you read Think and Grow Rich?
Absolutely.
You did?
Absolutely. I created my company 4 years ago, right after I read Think and Grow Rich. So I bought a self-help book to help myself. It works.
Personally, when I see people reading self-help books, I'm always a bit suspicious of them, especially the ones that say get rich quick and how to, like, enter your inner self in 5 minutes.
Earth is an anagram for heart, E-A-R-T-H, and heart being H-E-A-R-T. Everyone on Earth is working on their heart chakra center. What is the #1 killer? Heart disease.
I'd like to see more of self-help.
I'd like to see more security in the bookstores. That's what I'd like to say.
I really think that 30% of the people in any society are jerks. And you just want to try to keep that potential down, that number down. 30% of the people...
30%.
Obviously, Nazi Germany had a higher percentage.
Right.
But 30% of the people in any society are jerks. And as long as it doesn't go above 30%, that's okay. So people reading these books are jerks. So don't worry about it. If it gets up to like 50, 60%...
So these books are not helpful. They're not making us
So
happy.
they don't have any effect on really cool people like us who have our lives totally together.
So that means like one of us is probably a jerk.
Although these books are starting to sell in Britain now, the one about women are from Venus, men are from Mars is doing very well.
Which, by the way, is not true.
These self-help books are very, very American, because if you read our advice, most of our agony aunts, they're very sort of like... dump him, he was obviously no good for you, and go and find yourself another man. Whereas if you read these books, it's all like, well, what happened in your childhood, and what kind of personality you're in? You know, this is all useless information.
Nobody wants to take responsibility, you know? It's always like, hey, my dad, anally raped me or something, you know? I mean, who of us haven't been anally raped by their fathers? I mean, really.
Yeah, you should get over it, shouldn't you?
American self-help books are all about getting rich, and because English people have such lower expectations, like you don't have books like How to Get Rich in a Year, it's like How to Get 5 quid ahead by Thursday, you know, How to Win 7 pounds in the lottery.
It's actually...
How to save 40 pence on that next sandwich.
You see, actually, in Britain, the notion of self-help, it's not like, hey, all this stuff about finding your inner self and all that. It's things like, hey, you know, I really want to learn to make really good mayonnaise or something, or
it's pragmatic. You're saying you're pragmatic.
Or grow nice turnips, or great big cucumbers, you know, something that's useful, you see. There's a whole notion that... Well,
do you think it's the context of the society, in that we've had it so easy here in America that we've had a chance to become this self-involved, whereas, let's say, for instance, Britain, or, for instance, Japan, where they had an atomic bomb dropped on their heads. If you have an atomic bomb dropped on your head, it's hard after that to go, well, I'm afraid to love. You know.
I was surprised to see on the film that there were men buying these books, because certainly in Britain you'd never get a guy buying any of those books.
In England, you're encouraged to be emotional about very little, or to express emotions about very little. One of the things you can be emotional about is sport, occasionally, football particularly, or animals. You know, you can get excited or emotionally in touch with that.
Right.
Perhaps I said the wrong thing when I said excited with animals. I didn't mean that. But you can get emotional about them. You could be talking to yourself in the street and, like, going to the toilet in your trousers and, you know, kind of totally insane. And everyone goes, oh, well, yeah, High Court judge, you know, fine, you know. But if you're sort of even mildly thinking about going to therapy, oh, well, you're a nutter. You're a complete nutter. So there's a strange imbalance. It's almost like a prejudice against it.
Because self-help, in essence, you wouldn't need a book, would you?
I'll tell you a good self-help book.
Yeah?
Holy Bible.
Worked for me.
Norm, I know you. I know you've never seen the Bible.
I've seen the Bible in those hotel rooms. You can...
See, that's an interesting point, though. If you're not in therapy and you're not taking drugs, where are you going to go to ease your pain? Perhaps the church. Unlike in Britain, religion in America, big business and growing. So if you need a few tips, here's how the church is aggressively wooing new customers.
World Reach. It's about preaching the gospel. It's about producing television specials. It's about providing hope through Operation Blessing. But mostly, World Reach is about Jesus.
Father, in the precious holy name of Jesus, we pray right now that your power will come into the lives of people who are watching this program.
All it takes is just 65 cents a day, $20 a month, because Jesus is the answer.
Touch their bodies, heal them in Jesus' name. Restore that skin to normal.
In the name of Jesus, receive an answer to your prayer. Terry, do you have something?
You've suffered for a long time from a ringing in your ears that's very annoying, and God is releasing that for you right now.
Seeing what appeared to be a golden opportunity to share the gospel with a fairly captive audience, Pastor Perry Harrison started using the church's loudspeaker to expose the students to Christian music.
The Lord right now is setting you free from that terrible pressure in your head.
In America, we're spoiled. And we have everything in abundance. But here, they don't have anything. And the most we can give them is hope in Jesus.
Now, if you prayed with me, it's the most important prayer you ever prayed. I want you to do something about it. I want you to call us, tell us you prayed. For those who contribute, we have something called Jesus is the Answer. And we also believe in the great pumpkin and the tooth fairy.
Well. Norm.
Yeah.
In the United States, religion, big boom in business now. Are we just a pure and moral people? Is that the situation here in America?
I don't know. You know, like you always hear of people saying they're Christians,
yeah,
and then they don't read the Bible. It's insane.
Well, they say 90% of people have a Bible.
Have a Bible, but you figure you read it. You know, like I mean, they get the Bible, and it's supposed to be the Word of God. And they go, yeah, I'm going to get to that. I'm reading this Grisham thing first, and then I'll get to the God thing after, you know. God, he wrote a book, too.
Is religion in decline in Britain? Is it, because here it's obviously booming.
I can't tell you how stunned I am by the fact that you even have that on your TV.
What do you mean? Jesus is a competitive business in this country. You got to have a band and a good choir or people don't show. It's not enough to, you know, cure pleurisy. You got to have good music in there.
Is it just... Go on. Go on.
You see, this is English. You see, no, go ahead.
It's so polite, I'm moving on.
I'll tell you what I think about religion in this country.
Please, Joe. Settle it.
This is the only thing that embarrasses me about America. I think America is just so great. So when like French people say, but you have guns and you kill people, I figure, well, who cares? So what? We didn't collaborate with the Nazis. And, you know, so you've got all these things that you know, people would criticize America for, you know, violent movies, things like that. And I think that they're just fine. But the religion thing really is embarrassing because, you know, you see this guy, this Huckleberry here, this Pat Robertson, and the guy ran for president. I mean, he's an idiot. He's a buffoon. He's a village idiot. And he's on television every night. He's got his own cable channel. So, you know, it is embarrassing. But the most interesting thing about religion in America is that nobody who goes around America really thinks Americans are religious people. You know, like spiritual people.
Wasn't there a guy called Jerry Falwell or something here who
There's still a guy called Jerry Falwell.
Yeah, who was going on about he saw 70-foot Jesuses or something? Is that what he said?
Good drugs in Virginia.
I mean, and people were saying, oh, yeah, you know, you saw a 70-foot Jesus. Yeah, I'll buy some.
But in all fairness, you got to figure Jesus is a pretty tall guy.
But what sort of car would he drive? Do you think he would have a limo?
That's a good point.
But in other
70
countries,
feet's not that big.
In other countries, once a virgin or a saint appears, then they set up a temple, they set up some kind of grotto, you have big lines, you have people lined up waiting to get in. I was in Lourdes a couple years ago, and there were 16 guys in Cleveland Indians shirts waiting to be cured. I figure you guys are going to wait a long time because the virgin's, you know, she's backed up. She's still got, you know, she's got the San Diego Padres guys to take care of her. But in America, that would never happen. Someone would say the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared in a you know, she appeared at an internet site maybe, and people might believe that. But if somebody said she appeared here in a forest you wouldn't get a pilgrimage there. You wouldn't get people believing it. And the reason is people don't really believe in God.
If you go to Britain, you certainly wouldn't get politicians saying, and God bless Britain. Because the population would just laugh. And yet you have God bless America. And they say it with feeling. And you're all supposed to say it with feeling.
We actually wrote a song about it.
Seems to be working.
Getting back to the point. How is the Church of England going to stop the decline of people who have stopped going to church and stopped believing?
What the Church of England, I think, is going to have to do maybe is to put television screens up for the football results and the lottery, and maybe pinball machines and
make it more entertaining
and
for
a bar
people
in the corner or something. Yeah, I mean, you see, because the Church of England has got this strange position. I mean, it's very integrated with the class system. And it's one of those institutions that historically has been very highly respected. But in recent years, all of those institutions have been diminished in terms of the way people look at them. The judiciary, the monarchy, and the Church of England itself. So the Church of England is really on a downward slope, and I don't know how it's going to be corrected. Basically, because all of these institutions, they've been...
Would it matter? Would it matter to the quality of life over there if it went away?
They've lost the mythology.
Let's say it went away.
The only way that I think that it would increase in popularity is to take a leaf out of the book of all those sort of wacko, alternative, crystal, new age rubbish.
You know, for a long time in the church, in most Christian churches, Catholic, Protestant, whatever, the principal influence was, of course, Jesus Christ, because he was crucified. If you go into a church today in America, the principal influence is the Carpenters. I mean, Karen Carpenter.
Right.
That all you hear is every single person who lost their job playing the piano at the bar at the Marriott last week now does the religious service in your church. And there's this real strong musical element in all of these churches. I mean, you go in there and they're playing like the average white band type songs, but with these like religious lyrics. And there's this whole early 70s feel to religious churches, which is why I feel that churches must be eliminated immediately.
And
I mean,
overnight.
You just got to get rid of the music. The first thing you do is you got to get rid of the music, and you got to do things like when they have these blessings of animals. So like bring traditional biblical animals like donkeys and dogs and stuff. People bring like Gila monsters. People bring Gila monsters and iguanas and ferrets. You can't. God wouldn't bless those things. You know, it's sacrilege or simony or something.
I just have to say this: for Jews, it's just funny to watch the whole thing unfold because we just think we've been cold kicking it for 4,000 years, and we don't give a shit what you guys do.
I went to a bar mitzvah a couple of weeks ago.
You know, you don't have to say that like I went to a freak show at Coney Island once. You don't have to say it like that. You don't have to. I went to a bar mitzvah. You people are insane. Once again, that's all for tonight. Thanks to Lowry Turner, Felix Dexter, Joe Queenan, and Norm MacDonald. Please bow your heads and God bless America.
And there'll be more burning issues from both sides of the Atlantic in 2 weeks' time.
As the old refrain goes, people who need people are the luckiest people in the world. And then there's Andy Rooney.
I'd like to take a moment to talk to you about people. People are everywhere nowadays. It seems like you can't go anywhere without bumping into some people. People follow you when you're shopping, they ask you for directions, and sometimes they ask you what time it is. People never know what time it is. They have to ask you. There are over 4 billion people in the world. That's a lot of people. And I suppose most people like each other all right, but I don't. I don't like people, and I never have. I guess that makes me bad. Advertisers are always using people to help sell their products. Here's something called cornflakes. It's got a picture of some people on the box. I guess we're supposed to think, well, these people like cornflakes. I guess I will too. But I don't think that. I don't like people, and I don't like pictures of people either. There's even a magazine now about people. It's called People Magazine. This issue has a picture of some fellow's head on it. Bet that's a good article. Here's a box of letters from different people. Seems there's nothing people enjoy more than writing me letters. Here's one from Washington.
This one's from Ohio. Here's one from North Dakota. This one's from Paris, Texas. Now, I don't know where Paris, Texas is, but I do know this. I'm getting pretty tired of cities in Texas naming themselves after cities in France. Here's one from Chicago. This one's from Iowa. Here's one from Iowa, too. This one's from Montana. Here's one from some place called Kansas City. Here's one from Wisconsin. This one's from Arizona. Here's one from Las Vegas. Here's one from Virginia. Oh, and here's another one from West Virginia. This one's from Indiana. I don't know where this one's from, but it's yellow and it has a big stamp on it. This one's from Colorado. Here's one from Michigan. I receive about 100 of these letters every single day. I never open them. I don't like opening them. I set fire to them. Then I pour water on the box of burning letters to put out the fire. Then I take the whole mess and I dump it out my window on the people below. People don't like that much, but I like doing it to them. I suppose that makes me bad.
We'll be back next week with another edition of 60 Minutes.
Straight to the heart. I went a long time acting like I was a broken apart by you.
And now, a few minutes with Andy.
I have quite a few bad habits, which I'm not going to talk about now because I only have a few minutes. But swearing and using dirty words is not one of my vices. I don't use foul language, and I don't like to hear anyone else use it either. It doesn't make me a wonderful person, but I like this about myself, or I wouldn't be telling you about it. You don't hear dirty words on broadcast television very often, except on cable and satellite, because 30 years ago, the Federal Communications Commission banned their use in broadcasting. It was the right thing to do, but I know what words I think are okay to use and which ones are not, and I don't need the FCC to tell me what they are. Later this year, the Supreme Court will be deciding whether some broadcasters should be fined by the FCC for the brief use of those dirty words. They call them fleeting expletives. No one has ever explained what harm dirty words do, but it's like bad manners. I mean, life is a bootstrap operation, and dirty words may not be much, but they diminish the quality of all our lives by just a little bit. I think if the Federal Communications Commission left broadcasters alone, there would be very little profanity on the air because most people just don't want it. And if listeners don't want it, broadcasters wouldn't give it to them. I was in the Army for 4 years. I know all the four-letter words. I just don't want to be reminded of them on broadcast. But I don't want a lot of government agencies trying to regulate what I can say or hear on the air either. Language is one of the best tools ever invented for anything, and English is by far the best language. We should be careful using it, though, so I'll damn well decide for myself what I can say and what I can't say.
I'm Scott Pelley. We'll be back next Sunday with another edition of 60 Minutes.
So what was the story about
The Tonight Show for you, about ruining a chance to get on The Tonight Show? Because you must have done The Tonight Show a bunch. I mean, I feel like I remember seeing you on The Tonight Show.
Well, there was The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and then there was afterward, you know.
Right.
But I was living in Canada, and I was kind of at my peak. I'd been doing, I got good at stand-up pretty quick. So I was about 2 years in, and I was really good, you know. And I said, I'll go. Carson had announced he was going to retire in 8 months. So I said, I'm going to go to move to Los Angeles and be the last comedian on The Tonight Show and have him anoint me and call me over to the couch, and it'll be a big deal, you know. And so there was this talent booker for The Tonight Show who had a lot of power. And he was the guy you had to get through as a gatekeeper. So, anyways, but he was very frustrating to her. So I would do a set, you know, and he would come. First time I did the set, and he came up to me after. He goes, "I didn't like you, but I was really drunk."
Jesus
so I'm
Christ.
like, "Jeez, man." So I'm all right. Well, can I do it again? He's like, "Oh, yeah, of course. I didn't care for him, but." You're probably funny. Everybody says you're funny. But I tell you, I was really hammered. I'm like, all right. So then the next time, I'm sitting there, and I look over. He's necking with a girl. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, what the fuck is this guy? So finally, he looks at the stage and sees me after, 7 tries, you know. And so then he goes, you're great, but you're not a Johnny comic. You're a Jay comic. People say these ridiculous things that have no meaning. So I'm like, what? He's like, you're more of a Jay, because Jay was doing Monday night as the guest host at that time, and it had already been revealed that he was going to take over. So he goes, you're a Jay comic. And I go, no, I think I'm a Johnny comic. Like, that's what all my friends tell me. They always say, hey, you're a kind of a Johnny comic. He's like, I think you're a Jay comic. I'm like, so I'm in my head. I'm like, there's no fucking, it doesn't mean anything. What are you talking about? I was so angry. And then he says, like, whispers it to me. He goes, and also, Jay is going to take over the show. And I go, that was in the paper. Like, why are you whispering it? Everyone knows this thing. You're telling me in confidence, you know? So anyways, he says, Johnny will watch the Monday night with Jay. And everybody already knew at that point that Johnny hated Jay also. And even if he didn't, like, Johnny Carson's going to watch the guest host on his day off,
right.
At 11:30. So I never got to do the Tonight Show. But then looking back, like, I wasn't really a Carson guy. He was like a corny old guy to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I took it on faith that he was funny, and I'd see clips and he'd be funny. But I wasn't a guy who grew up with Johnny Carson. I was a guy who grew up with David Letterman.
Right.
So it probably was better for me to have my first spot on Dave,
You got sorted into the right house.
Yeah, without
with
knowing it, It turned out I was a Dave comic.
You were neither a Leonard comic nor a...
Yeah. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You're familiar with the model Kate Upton? Well, apparently, she told the London Sun that life would be easier if she had small breasts. I suppose that's true if by easier she means harder. We have a great show!